Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. Can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Listen online, the website that rocks, KMOD.com. Past shows are available on iTunes. Search under BMMS. Listen with your cell phone. Get the iHeartRadio app. Available from the App Store of your cell phone provider. More on that at iHeartRadio.com. And we're on Facebook. Facebook.com/BMMS69. That's where you can hang out with us each and every day. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning.
Tickets to see Chevelle? Yep, got another pair for you. We'll do that at 7:30. Someone's going to see Chevelle July 24th at the Tulsa Theater. Tickets available at tulsatheater.com. See what Gimpy wants to talk about. We got Conspiracy Theory Thursday. We'll talk to Mike Malega. You might not know this, but Cinco de Mayo is on May 5th.
Hell yeah!
See Cinco's. Anyway, so that's Sunday, and we're doing our 18th annual Cinco de Mayo block party at Los Cabos and Jinx. I just got an email to clarify some information.
Oh, yeah?
Mariachi.
Yeah.
I love a good mariachi.
Oh, yeah.
Pinata breaks. So letting kids hit pinatas.
Just
I'm
the
hoping.
kids?
I'm hoping kids.
Okay. Would you get in on a little pinata action?
No.
A little blindfold, spin you around a couple times, let you swing a bat at any random direction while people are around?
No. 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 I don't think so.
Yeah?
Because it's kind of like that machine that you put the quarters in and punch to see how hard you can punch it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I can do better.
Right, and then it becomes a big old contest.
Yeah, and then you're like, what are we doing? Also, I don't eat Tootsie Rolls that much. Face painting and balloon animals.
Hell yeah.
Tournament-style cornhole. There'll be other games. And, of course, beer and food specials. I don't know about beard specials, but beer and food specials. So that's happening at Cinco de Mayo. We'll be there from 3 to 5, but I think it starts at, like
Probably something like that. Yeah. It's an all-day event for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll go all day and all night, even though it's a Sunday, and I'm sure people still got to work tomorrow or the next day. People will still go out and celebrate full force, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They have this thing at Los Cabos. It's a chicken breast, and it's cut open like they make a little pocket with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they put pepper jack and jalapenos and chorizo.
Ooh, yeah.
And then
Spicy.
deep fry it.
Yum.
It's so good.
Oh,
And I don't like straight jalapenos, but oh my God.
Yeah?
Anyway, so that's happening on Sunday. I may or may not be. Oh, and then they cover it in queso.
Oh, yeah. Now that my mouth is watering.
Smothered in cheese is all right
Yes.
with me.
So again, that's happening Sunday at the 18th annual Cinco de Mayo block party at Los Cabos and Jinx. We'll be there from 3 to 5. And because it's Cinco de Mayo, our top list today is our top 5 Mexican dishes.
Not like plates and bowls and stuff.
Right, I like ones with a little red.
Right.
Gotta have red in there, or the blue, that royal blue color.
You know what I just realized? I'm not a big fan of color on my plates. Like patterns and stuff.
Okay, just a plain white plate is good
Or
enough for
blue
you.
or green or
Just a
whatever.
solid color.
Yeah.
Okay.
I lose my food in it.
I would rather not have a green plate. Green is when it comes to food, not like vegetables and stuff like that, but it just reminds me of like baby puke.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a real turnoff
okay.
for me when it comes to food. I look down and like it's all on a green plate. Looks like somebody vomited and then put my food on top.
So no broccoli in your world.
No, that's
salads.
what I'm talking about. Like food-wise, I'm good with the
color.
vegetables. It's just the color of the plate itself. Give me a red, give me a blue, give me a white, but don't give me
Number one.
Right.
We are number 1.
Bingo.
Have your best show on Thursday. No problem. Plate color, huh?
Yep.
My goodness.
Anywho.
Yep. We can talk about the world's problems if you'd like that.
So we got top list Mexican dishes. We'll do that for our top list today. Hulk Hogan is not under fire, but being scrutinized for something he said. I've got the audio for this. He was doing an interview. I'll just let you take a listen.
A buddy of mine, Roddy Piper, passed away. Roddy Piper. And he was really trying hard to, surrender and try to get his life straight. So, we would text every single day. Now, in the wrestling business, for 25 years, we couldn't stand each other. We were at each other's throats. I know it's predetermined, all that, but he did not like me, and I did not like him. And that's just how it was. Well, once we got older and, we basically had some conversations. And so we started talking a lot, and he started asking me about my spirituality. He really didn't connect, but he was very curious, He wouldn't surrender. And all of a sudden, he passes away. And it was an A&E special about Roddy Piper. And the very thing, when they get ready to go to credits, it wasn't a text message, but it was a text message that was a voice message on the text. So he must have. But this text message came in 2 days after he died. And the text message goes, I'm just loving you, my brother. I'm just walking with Jesus and loving you, my brother. I was like, he would have never said that when he was here.
So he's implying that Roddy Piper sent him a voice to text.
Okay.
Those we can record your audio.
Yeah.
To him after he died.
Okay. A little difficult, but
Right.
I don't know that.
Can you schedule those sort of things, right?
I don't think so.
But you don't know when you're going. I guess maybe like when you're approaching your final days, you might know that like, hey, I've just got a little bit of time left on this earth, so I'm going to go ahead and make a voice message and then schedule it to send to whomever on X day. Let's just say like a week out.
I don't think you can schedule text messages from your phone.
I don't think you can either, but I can't think of any other way outside of some kind of, miracle that would happen.
So anyway, so he comes under a little scrutiny for that interview, right?
Yeah.
And then now I've got the audio of him sharing, and you're going to hear the voice to text. Now, in this interview, he says voicemail,
Okay.
but he clarified it's not a voicemail. It is a voice text. And then so you'll hear the message from Roddy Piper, allegedly, according to Hogan, from beyond the grave.
The news came that he passed away, and I felt like I got shot in the chest with a cannon, and it kind of like knocked me off track for a couple of days. And then all of a sudden I get this voice message. It was really weird because either my phone was messed up. Sometimes you'll get a text message at that night when it was sent to you in the morning.
I saw the light. I'm walking with Jesus today, my brother. Walking with Jesus, loving you and praying for you.
It really spooked me out, like, alien thing, like Close Encounters is just crazy to get a voice message from somebody after they'd passed away. And especially for him to say, I'm loving you and walking with Jesus, my brother. Just loving you and walking with Jesus. I was like, wow. Totally screwed me up.
Okay.
Because he's saying Roddy was discovering his spirituality and had never, ever said anything like that. So the fact that he died, that message came saying he's putting two things together,
Yeah.
Right.
Which is kind of getting lost in the communication from him, is that he's saying Roddy Piper never would say anything like that ever. Because he was on his journey to discover his spirituality.
Right. When he was on that journey, okay, when he was still alive and they were still friends talking.
Yeah.
Not like in the end.
He's implying that it hit him like a punch in the face that because he's walking hands with Jesus and he's like, hold on, JC, let me make a quick call. I need to do a
friend. I would understand now that he said that, like, sometimes your phone gets messed up and you'll get messages later than what they were actually sent. That's happened to me before. I've gotten messages from friends that just pop up, and I'll be like, what's this about? And they're like, oh, I sent that days ago or whatever. Okay. Glitch in the system, whatever the case is. So I could buy that. So far as, again, if Rowdy was, like, towards the end and knew that he was going to die, had that feeling, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and face it now, because you said he was just discovering his religion, right? His faith
on his
or whatever.
journey.
He was on his
Yeah.
journey. So maybe he's like, I've got a feeling that like things are going to end for me soon, so I'm just going to go ahead and call it now. Jesus, take the wheel. Oh, by the way, before I die, I want to send this to the Hulkster, and then glitch in the system. Didn't get it until 2 days after he died. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense out of it.
To me, I don't know. He had a cardiac arrest, so it is possible he was quite coherent.
Yeah.
But I'm having a little trouble piecing the sequence of events. I am not savvy enough to understand if you send in text messages, if it queues up until it comes, quote, back online, and how often that happens.
Okay, so
I'm sure people are going to say that's happened to them. My theory is that Hulk Hogan, super famous wrestler, gets a lot of text messages.
Yes.
And does not always read them right away.
Correct.
Very well could be true. We've got a couple of texts in here saying that you can schedule text messages. This says, I can schedule text message from my phone, do it all the time. Another one.
Why?
I've been able to schedule texts for over a decade. I do it for birthdays all the time.
That's not genuine, by the way.
Right. This one here says, this message is from an Android phone and has been scheduled to be sent to you 3 minutes after the time that I have typed it. The options allow me to send it months in advance. However, if I attach any pictures, I do not have the option to schedule it to be sent in the future.
So an attachment like an audio message.
Right. I continue to say I believe an audio recording would count as that attached media. And then another one on Androids, you can schedule text messages.
So Androids you can schedule, but not attachments according to that. Okay.
Yeah, I've never had a need to schedule a text message.
I'm not sure why you would.
Yeah. Unless somebody was like, hey, remind me in a couple of days for blah, blah, blah. But if that's the case, I just tell my phone, push the button and tell Bixby or whatever, hey, set a reminder for XYZ in 3 days or whatever. And it does that. And then a reminder pops up on my phone or my watch, and I do that.
That's a whole other thing to understand why people schedule text messages.
Yeah, we got two different
I
things.
kind of am with you. I think he had the message already on his phone, and he just
hadn't read it.
Exactly. And the timing just happened to be coincidental that he looked after he died, and how kind of cool that it was after he died that he read it, and he's like, wow, he's walking with Jesus, and really he is at this time.
I mean, you get the news someone passes, you probably scroll through your phone, look at pictures, whatever. So,
talk to him,
oh man,
less words exchanged.
Yeah. Somebody I think this is pretty good too. What if one of his kids or someone saw the text typed but had not sent it and went ahead and hit send?
Okay, well,
that's a good logic too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about voice messages, but I have a Samsung Flip, and I could schedule a text to send later. I doubt they had it back when he died. Another excellent point. Right?
Well, when did he die? That's the question.
Almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2014?
2015.
Okay. Maybe the technology was there. I don't know. I can't remember much past yesterday. So maybe the technology was there. Because Android phones have always been well more advanced than the iPhone.
I mean, jokes aside, it is pretty much a true statement. They've had the widgets and stuff for a long time.
I
mean, really. And I'm an iPhone girl, so.
Yeah. 2015, July. Okay. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe they had that. 2015. Yeah. Yeah, because, I've been here since 2012, and I've been a Samsung S-Series person since the very beginning. So I can tell you that, at least on my end, and I've never used it before, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that the technology didn't exist. I know that that smartphone, that technology, I'm going to say more than likely was there.
I mean, I don't think it would have been there from the beginning.
No. But I got my first Samsung in like 2011 or something like that, and then steadily upgraded almost every year after that. This phone that I have now is probably the oldest one I've had ever, because I'm just too lazy to upgrade, and I don't want an extra payment.
Yeah, there's obviously a little more context here we would need about, I don't know if the HTC Dream 1 had that ability.
Yeah. That's another factor there. We don't know what kind of phone that Roddy had.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, whatever makes the Hulk feel better about himself, helps him sleep at night.
Somebody texted in. I do it if I know I'm calling in the next day, so I can turn my alarm on for the next day. Wait, so you text yourself? That makes no sense either. Not sure about voice messages. Oh, we did that one. Yeah, I don't understand why you schedule a text.
If I know I'm calling in the next day. Like, you're not going to go to work, so.
You schedule a text
to remind you you're not going to work? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Again.
Or like so you can sleep in, you schedule a text saying you're not going to make it? Is that what you're saying?
I guess. Or it's like, hey, set an alarm and
so you're lying?
Reminder
I don't understand. So you're lying?
Yeah, that doesn't make any damn sense.
If you don't feel well and you make the determination at midnight, you call at midnight or you just call when you wake up.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Another text. I had a weird glitch one time where I sent a text, according to my phone, it sent, but it didn't arrive for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Only happened once, though. Okay. The problem with that, like if Lindsay's like, I sent you a text, she can tell me when she sent it, but I don't know on my end.
Right. And sometimes you've got to reset your phone, like turn it off completely and then turn it back on.
It's all that IT training you get. It tells you that.
Absolutely. And then you'll like start catching stuff. So maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
I just love that we worked in an angle to try and talk about how superior Android phones are, you psychopaths.
It worked.
What a weird flex.
It worked. They are.
God, anything you can to try and make yourself look cooler than you are.
Yeah.
We're all sheeple, man, whether it's Android or Apple, man. It's all good. Unless you've got the old school Nokia that you're playing Snake on.
Even
then, exactly. We are all slaves to a cellular
What do you
device.
wear, clothes? Breathing oxygen? All right, we got to take a break. We got tickets to Chevelle we're going to give away. Chevelle is going to be at the Tulsa Theater on July 24th. Take a break, and we'll be back.
Tulsa's
Judging food. What do you judge? What's your judge when you go to someone's house? If it's
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness?
Probably, yeah. Especially if you're having a dinner party.
Yeah, I might do that too.
Uh-huh.
Gimpy?
Definitely cleanliness. And it doesn't have to be sparkling, like you walk in and everything's ting, 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 No. But if you're inviting people over, dinner party, or just to hang out and have a smoke sesh, you might want to just kind of pick up the bulk of
Smoke
things
sesh.
first.
You're so bougie.
Yeah.
You're going over get high, and you're like, man, the house was so dirty.
Yeah.
So dirty.
Well, yeah, if you got to, you can't put your soda down or your water down on the table because, it's littered with empty cans.
Right.
Then, yeah, that's
Right.
what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
Go get a damn trash bag.
But
Clear off the table and
Yes.
it'll be fine.
Yes.
I'm not saying you have to run the vacuum.
Right.
All right? Just don't make people come in and be like, oh, God. Oh, God. And furthermore, Susan, if it smells a little bit, just spray something. Just spray something in the air. You don't want to walk into somebody's house and get hit with a brick wall of stank. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to be careful too. Don't go crazy, right? If you're unloading half a can of Lysol,
Right. You're
gross.
obviously
covering up a
something
smell.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Which will reveal itself in a
In
little
due
bit.
time.
Yes.
It's not permanent.
It smells like wildflowers and ass
Yeah. Is it Febreze?
and mold.
Febreze is literally advertised to cover up stink,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
which means you have a problem if there's stink in the
Yeah.
house. What about a toilet bowl that's got a pink ring in it?
I'm not judging that.
Gross.
It's pink mold.
Yeah.
It's mold
Gross.
Yeah.
in the toilet bowl.
Yeah. That's okay.
Ugh.
Now, I mean, there's a difference between is there sitting urine or like, Mr. Hanky, is he taking
Skid
a little
marks.
swim right there?
There's some rubbing is racing.
Right. Like,
Gross.
previous person was a freckler. I get what you're talking about. Yeah. Dude, that happens, bro. That happens in everybody's house. I'm hoping that you would, at least go in there and take that little brush and whirl around a little
Yeah,
bit.
but you didn't.
You didn't, exactly. But I mean, it is what it is. Everybody poops. Everybody has that, whatever you may need a knife for. It's okay.
Bidet, dude. Bidet. Bidet.
Right. I get it. That cleans the skid marks off of your end, but I mean, this is down on the porcelain. I don't think it works like that.
Eat some Fiber. What's the strangest type of bird that you'd be willing to eat, such as a shoebill stork? You know what a shoebill stork is, Lindsay?
No.
Look it up. Look up shoebill stork. Shoebill stork. It will, if I remember correctly, this is a very bizarre-looking bird. It almost looks human-like.
Got a giant honking schnoz.
It is terrifying.
Yeah.
It will haunt you in your nightmares. If I remember right, it makes a horrendous sound. A very loud noise. It's not like a beautiful chirping or anything. It's a very loud noise. Mm-hmm. It's the shoebill stork. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your pick going to be?
Probably a. What's the one? What are the We call him. My husband calls it a Harry Truman, and that's not what its real name. We see
Dropping bombs?
Huh?
Is it just dropping bombs everywhere it
No,
flies?
it's the. Now I can't even think of the real name of it. You see them all a blue herring. Is that what it is?
Blue herring.
What? Isn't that a fish?
See them all the time on the.
So it's the ones you see in the ponds, and they got the long legs and stuff
yes.
like that. Yeah.
Piranha.
The heron, yes.
Great blue heron.
Yes.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity.
Gimpy?
Can I say big?
Huh?
Big?
Bird.
Big bird. Okay.
Oh.
If we're going like a legit bird,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the flamingo.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see if it tastes like shrimp.
Yeah. Flamingo or
That's
roadrunner.
true.
One of the two.
Yeah, why not? That sounds fine. Penguin. I'm down for some penguin.
Oh, yeah. Some fricasseed penguin.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it getting, it's cold. It's right there on the ice.
Right.
Who doesn't? Some good penguin. Yum. I'm going to name some dishes. You give me a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being awesome,
Okay.
and 0 being pass.
Okay.
Okay? Lindsay, you're in on this too.
Okay.
10 being
Let's
awesome,
start
0
let's
being
start
nothing.
basic, right?
Yeah.
Spaghetti. Lindsay?
Oh, 10.
Okay. Gimpy.
3.
Okay. Fettuccine Alfredo. You can
10.
You can say 10.
Could I say 11?
Gimpy?
Oh.
What kind? Is it seafood or is it chicken?
This is just the cheese. This is
Just
no
the
chicken,
sauce
no
and noodles?
Yeah.
0.
Okay. Manicotti. So manicotti, for those who don't know, it's a ricotta. Mostly the time it's a ricotta-based filled noodle.
Big ol' honking noodle, too.
It's a 6 for me.
Okay.
That's a 0 for me, dog.
Okay. Stuffed shells.
6.
Okay. Gimpy.
2. 2, if that. I'm struggling for a 2, bro.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Lasagna.
3.
Wow. Gimpy.
Who's making it?
Whoever your favorites is.
It's even my mom's lasagna. That would rank like a 2 or 3 for me, and that's because it's mom's. So lasagna, just in general,
Yeah.
that's a 1.
Chicken Parmesan. Chicken Parmigiana.
9.
Never had it.
What?
Crazy.
It feels crazy.
yeah. So that's going to be a 0 for me, dog.
Oh my God, dude. Chicken. Oh my gosh.
Is it the eggplant and the?
Nope.
That one's good too.
That's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Chicken piccata. Chicken piccata is the lemon chicken. I know. It's lemon.
Yeah, 7.
That's 0.
Oh my God.
Like we went to that fancy Italian place for the boss. What was that, last week? His lunch or whatever. And I'm looking at the menu. I was like,
Mondo's, great Italian restaurant.
Mondo's. I respect them and what they do. It's just Italian is not for me. I'm like, I don't know what to get. Everything on the menu had either mushrooms or lemon on it. And I was just like, what's this stuff with the shrimp? Sounds good. I'll eat the shrimp over the noodles, which is exactly what I did.
I mean, I wanted to see. All right, so let's just go with a couple things here because I'm trying to find fried mozzarella.
I mean, that's just deep
10.
fried cheese. But even then, I want to give it like a 4.
Calamari.
10.
Calamari. I'll go ahead and give that like maybe a 6 or something because I've had calamari at other places that's not Italian food.
Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. News quickies are stories you may have missed in the news. We'll cover them here and put a link on our Facebook page if you want more. Facebook.com/BMMS69.
It's time for News Quickies, world news, local news, and news that just makes you say, what the Now here's Corbin, Gimpy, and Lindsay with what's going on. News Quickies from the Big Man Morning Show at 97.5 KMOD.
Man nabbed for chicken battery on sister. 20-year-old man is behind bars, charged for launching fried chicken at his sister during a domestic clash in Florida. They share a residence, and according to investigators, the poultry pelting occurred on Sunday afternoon in their Clearwater home. Kane Medley and his sibling were arguing, and during that verbal altercation, Medley grabbed a bag of Church's chicken from his sister and began throwing pieces of chicken at her. Piece by piece, the chicken hit his sister, and one hit her right in the back and left debris of food on her shoulders. After being read his rights, Medley reportedly admitted throwing 2 pieces of chicken, one of which hit her. The motive for the chicken winging? He said he did it because he had not eaten and did not want the piece of chicken the victim offered him, so he was upset. He was hangry. He was arrested for domestic battery, a misdemeanor, and booked into county jail. He was arrested earlier this year for allegedly biting and strangling his sister and slamming a door on her arm and striking her with a piece of wooden decor.
What a rooster.
Right.
Right.
If you're hungry, just eat the chicken.
There's no way it was good chicken.
Eat the damn chicken.
Well,
Church's
it ain't
chicken is
Waldo's
good.
chicken and beer, that's for damn sure.
Right, but
telling you.
Church's is good too.
No,
He's
Waldo's
like, I don't
is
want
the
this
only
piece.
chicken.
I don't want
Lindsay?
this piece.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to chuck it at her?
People get hangry sometimes,
I know.
And,
But he had food. It would make no sense if he was
Exactly.
hangry if he had food in front of him.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you're not feeling the chicken, you'd rather have steak or something, and sometimes your hangriness just overrides the fact that you have food in your hand. You see-
Blinded by the hangry is what you're saying?
Blinded by the hangry,
okay.
Absolutely. I could see it happening, and this guy just happened to take it, and, I don't want your damn chicken. I'd rather have some pudding or something. I don't know.
I've never understood hangry. And I'm
Really?
being honest, I've never understood it.
Have you ever gotten hangry before?
No, I normally eat when I'm hungry.
Okay.
Right.
But sometimes you can't. You get busy, right?
No.
Stuff
I
happens.
stop
You
what
just-
I'm doing.
you
No.
can't take a break.
There's literally, short of surgery, there's nothing happening where I can't stop and eat or go find food. It is
Okay.
2024. There is food everywhere for the majority of humans.
Yeah, right.
I have
Tell
been
that to the starving
hangry.
kids in China.
I have been hangry.
I have too.
Like you're running errands, you're doing stuff, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. And then, you feel your blood sugar dropping. That is like.
Right, you
it's real.
ignored the signs is what I'm saying.
Absolutely, but you get busy, and then you're doing like, okay, once practice is over, then we can eat. I just got to hang on for just a half an hour longer.
Don't misinterpret what I'm saying as you or anyone else is stupid. I'm
Right.
just saying that, I don't get it because when I'm hungry, I eat. When I feel my blood sugar drop, I eat.
Right.
And you can go to Quick Trip and buy something.
Yeah.
You can bring stuff with you.
I know
You
it.
can keep snacks in your backpack for practice.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm starving. Let me reach in here and get my bag of nuts.
But to go to a length of being so hangry that you're throwing food, you're blinded by it.
Yeah, that's the part that I
I don't
is
get.
Blinded by the hangriness. If you've got food in your hand, eat it and everything will be all right.
Exactly.
So there had to have been something else that had triggered all that.
They clearly do not need to be around each other.
Yeah.
If they have a
No.
history, brother
Yeah.
and sister.
Yeah.
Sometimes brothers or sisters or moms or dads or grandparents or aunts or uncles or whoever suck.
yeah.
You don't have to hang out with them.
Right.
Shouldn't be living together.
Shouldn't be
That's
around
for
'em.
Sure.
It's okay to say, thanks for being my brother. It doesn't have to say, thanks for being the best brother.
Right. Thanks for not throwing chicken at me.
Right.
You need to make that card. Robbers make off with 100 pounds of smoked salmon. This comes out of Washington, where this past Sunday, employees at Seattle Fish Guys, they showed up to work and noticed that some things were awry. They have been burgled. The owner says that it wasn't the typical break-in that she has seen before. She says most break-ins that she had noticed, that they just ran a car through the front door. But in this case, the burglars drilled out the deadbolts, and they went inside. They noticed that the back room had been ransacked. She says that they made off with a couple of $1,000s. They made off with some office junk. The burglars stole a bottle of champagne that was in somebody's locker that they were saving for their birthday. And, of course, 100 pounds of the smoked salmon. Now, the owner does go on to say that she believes that it was the burglars, the people who broke in were once customers. And that they really liked the fish and they wanted to have more of it. And that's why they went straight for the fish, because they completely wiped them out of all their smoked salmon.
Smart burglars.
And of course, the surveillance vid cameras weren't working, so they don't have any idea who really did it. But she says, along with all that, they made off with some jerky. Okay. And she goes on to say that, that they need to keep it refrigerated or else they're going to be eating a lot of it. Now, with all that being said, I don't think it was a customer that was like, that salmon was so friggin' good.
Right, I need pounds of it.
Right, because I'm thinking that the salmon that you're getting in a restaurant like that, it's not seasoned or anything yet, so it would have to be prepared to be made just like the salmon.
No.
You don't think so?
Smoked salmon?
It's smoked salmon.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's delicious.
It's just smoked.
Okay.
Salmon.
Okay, yeah. But if they went in and they had it before and it had all this other, jive on it, pecans or lemon zest, whatever, wouldn't that have to be prepared? If they were like, this is so good, I've got to go in and steal all the salmon. I don't know. I think it was possibly an inside job. That's just my
Smoked
thoughts.
salmon is a way to, preserve it.
Okay.
And you can eat it, right?
Okay.
I don't share the sentiment that Lindsay has. I think it's garbage.
Oh.
My dad would go salmon fishing and bring these massive salmon home, and when we'd have an event, he would smoke one on the grill. It'd take forever.
Okay.
And I have made fire, that type of thing. And I'm like, meh.
Your dad was the
God.
best.
Thank you.
That is amazing. Smoked salmon is one of my favorites.
And that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying, I think for me, like okra, it's hot garbage.
Okay.
Breaks my heart.
Does it?
Yes.
Of all the things I've ever said?
Yep. Yes.
That's the one?
Yep.
Man arrested for allegedly giving daughter marijuana and vapes to sell.
We got to hustle somehow.
A man is facing charges for providing his daughter with drugs and vape products to sell at school. One, babe, come here. I got an idea for you. Ortiz's daughter led police to her supplier after being caught with the items at school. The girl reportedly said her father encouraged her to sell the illicit products. He's facing charges relating to providing drugs to a minor and child endangerment.
Wow.
All for a little hustle.
Yeah.
How old was the kid, did it say?
I don't remember. She was a
Okay.
teenager.
Okay. I'm not trying to, justify it.
13.
Or anything. Okay.
E.
Yeah. That's still a little too young.
Where were you going, though?
Well, I was
I'll take
thinking
a
if
ticket,
it was 17, okay, that's close enough to adult age.
said the pedophile.
Yeah, right.
Why is that not okay?
Age of consent, man.
No.
But yeah, 13. I was thinking that it was maybe elementary or middle schooler, but either way.
It's
Still not
fascinating to me, and I'm not aiming this at Gimpy. A lot of people do this. It's fascinating to me when people will bend the rules when it's something they do. Right? They'll go, well, it's close enough. Right? Because Gimpy enjoys his weed.
Yeah?
So he's like, well, come on. Having a beer and not 21. Come on.
Yeah. Whatever. Everybody's different.
All these stories are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BMMS69.
Tulsa's morning show. The Big
Boy toys.
Big boy toys.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And for the big
Beach
girls,
toys.
Yeah. Okay.
Lake toys.
Okay.
Toys is synonymous across the board. Dolls, 94% associated with children, specifically
Yes.
girls.
Okay.
So it's a little bizarre.
A little weird. To each is their own.
To-
I'm not going to spend $2,700 on one of those real live looking sex dolls. That's just for
I'll
me.
take the bait. How much would you spend?
Yeah.
What is your top out
My top out
on sex dolls?
If I was to purchase a sex doll, now obviously, yeah, you could go and get one of those $50 jobbies that they always look surprised or whatever. But I would like to have, if I was going to get one, it would be one of those real dolls, right? But I'm not. Maybe $1,000. Maybe $1,000, and that's a lot. That's a lot,
right,
man.
I can speak Gimpy. He is not saying he would spend $1,000 on it.
Right.
Okay.
He's saying gun to the head.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Absolutely.
I think if he were going to buy one, that would not be the price point he'd shop at. He's saying if he had like the most,
Right.
it would have to be a utopian world. Probably would have had won $1 billion lottery. Like,
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, if I'm winning a lottery, then yeah, I want to get the high end one, man. Spend, $3,500, get everything that feels real, maybe one that's like got AI and can
If you
talk
won
back
the-
to you a little bit.
If you won the lottery, you wouldn't need to buy a sex doll. You'd have women lined up if you won the lottery.
not if you don't trust people and you don't want them around. You think all they want is money.
Boom. That real life sex doll ain't taking me to the cleaners. I'll be taking her to the cleaners, but she ain't taking me. Nay, nay.
Do you take a job as a rich person sex toy cleaner?
No.
How much are we getting paid? That's the real
Minimum wage.
question.
Minimum wage.
I'm not getting paid $7.50 to go
Everybody needs a job.
to go scrub out some rich person's sex doll.
Okay, but you get to, sorry. However, you then get to be in their house when they're not there, like as a house
I
caretaker.
get to use all their
Yeah,
luxuries, so
yeah.
that means I get to drive the cars.
Probably not the cars, but you get to use their house.
Nah, I'm out then. If all I get is one room.
No,
and I
like
get
they're
to
not
use
there, so you can have the kitchen, you get to do the pool, like whatever. When they're not
Absolutely.
there, you're the caretaker.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to sleep in their luxurious bed with their 1,000 thread count Egyptian cotton
Sure.
sheets. You see
They're
what I'm
not.
saying?
Yeah, but they're not putting a futon
Right.
in your room.
Even then, if I don't have access to all the amenities that you have, we're talking, cars, boats, jet skis, private, planes, whatever, then I don't want any part. I would, if I had access to all that, sure, I'd do it for minimum wage. Why not?
Yeah, young me, access to all that stuff? Sure.
Yeah.
Every job's got hard days. I've told the story. I was a dog walker in San Francisco. The only difference between that job and any other job is I put the crap in my hand. That's the only difference.
Exactly.
Every job has bad things you got to deal with.
Absolutely.
And that one just happens to be the job.
Right. So, it is what it is. But look, I get to throw house parties, when they're gone, invite my friends over.
You're jeopardizing your job at that point.
Absolutely. But, hey, ride the wave while you can, right?
I saw that there's a sex toy, because I have remote control sex toys, but it's always been like a handheld thing.
Right.
Now they have, it's like an app on your phone connected via Bluetooth, and you can do all these like finger like drawing things on it, then transfers to the sexual device with the woman. And I'm like, that's really fascinating. So then I went down the rabbit hole of weird sex toys.
Okay.
They have a rose quartz crystal shaped phallic looking sex toy.
Okay.
So it's, what quartz is, right? It's like countertop.
Yeah.
Very similar to granite, except it's man made. Very shiny, heat resistant, but heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, okay, I'm the only one that thinks that's weird.
It
Okay.
is weird and probably expensive.
$200. Big T's Rub My Ducky Classic. It is for the bathtub. It is a sex toy that looks like a rubber ducky and has a vibration to it. So think of the bill and all the other angles that are on it. Another one, a vibrator in the shape of a hammer.
Whoa. Really puts the meaning to pound it, huh?
Going to Pound Town.
Oh, God.
A tentacle dildo.
I have seen those.
They're so scary.
Weird looking, right? And I'm like, why?
This is one for guys. I've never seen this before. It has a name. It's called a godemeki. And it's a tube. It's got threads for you where you can hold it, like laces almost, like a football. And then the inside's dimply.
Yeah.
A steel faux foxtail plug.
Okay. Those tails are nothing new.
No, but this one looks exactly like a tail.
Oh, my goodness.
A corn on the cob vibrator.
Corn on the cob for the country girl.
It's gone.
It's got the
I'll
juice.
tell you all about it.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought when I saw it.
Goodness.
Corn on the cob. I gotta look.
Yeah. It makes sense if you think about the attachments that are with it.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Like the dimpling and bumps and all that other stuff.
Usually dimpling and bumps is not something you want to mess with, right?
Right.
You need to go see a doctor and get those bumps removed.
Some of you may have grandparents that have special china in some case in the dining room that's white with blue patterns on it.
Yeah.
The blue willow china.
Sure. This is a butt plug that looks like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Honey, it's special anniversary night. Break out the fine china.
Yeah.
Another one, the penguin.
Uh-oh.
And it looks like a penguin whistling. And the part that would be the mouth of the penguin would apparently be where the magic happens for ladies.
The Satisfy Your Penguin. Oh, hey, look at that. A little bow tie and everything.
The Nerd Climax Dragon Finger.
Wow.
This is a sex toy that goes on your finger, and it is the shape or has the look of a like a dragon's claw. Hey, listen, lid for every pot, whatever you got.
What?
When we were in school, we had a thing. There were like these rubber balls with handles, and you would jump on them, right? And you would have races with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is that, except it is for the ladies.
That's so weird.
It's a Swiss ball dildo. This is Gimpy has shown me the one he has before, which I ran, and this is the accommodator.
The accommodator.
You know,
huh?
if you're familiar with that chin strap.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. And then probably the mildest one on this list would be the Clone a Willy dildo kit.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those before.
Pretty mild.
Yeah. Thought about using it, you know.
I don't know how it would work.
What do you mean?
So have you ever seen like in Hobby Lobby they have those plaster Paris where you make the plaster Paris of like you holding your baby's
absolutely.
hand or like you put your kid's foot in it?
Yeah, I did that in art class with my little hand. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That would be this, except it comes in a tube, and the idea is you do what you have to do, and then you do the mold, and then it sets, and then you. I don't hair.
Yeah.
2, any sort of deviation from what's happening in a sexual moment for me, it's over.
Right. So your dildo would come out all weird and deformed, pretty much, basically.
Or smaller than the representation.
Well, what am I going to do with this thing, huh?
And do you tell people it didn't work? Like, I couldn't do it.
That's why you read the reviews first, right?
And I don't know anybody that's done it, so I can't. I know they sell them,
Oh, yeah.
so I'm sure someone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it was great."
I'll get one over the weekend, put one together, bring it in for you Monday.
You don't have to bring it in. You can just give me the verbal review.
Drunk Florida man kicked out of bar, returns and attacks bar owner with belt. This happened last weekend in West Palm Beach. A 37-year-old man kicked out of the bar for being too intoxicated, but quickly returned wielding a firearm, according to an affidavit. Fabio Lano Sanchez, arrested by Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. According to records, he was released on last Wednesday with a $60,000 bond amount. He arrived to the area on July 23rd around 2 a.m. The owner of the bar said that he shows up, he was a little drunk, then he got too drunk, and he started harassing customers. So they asked the man to leave. He left to his car but came back with a firearm. He pointed it directly at the bar owner and said, "I will shoot you." And then he threatened to shoot the bar's security. Well, then Sanchez decided, I'm going to just take off my belt, and started swinging it at the bar owner. He hit him multiple times. A security guard began fighting with the suspect, and the bar owner began fearing for his life. He told deputies that's when he called 911, and they showed up, arrested him, said he was going to kill everybody. The owner had an injury on his finger from the belt. The guy himself did not have any injuries. The suspect had some scrapes and bruises on his face in his mugshot, though.
That's a very underrated weapon.
Absolutely.
A belt is, you know?
Okay. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Let's see what Lindsay has for Balls to the Wall Sports.
The East's top-seeded Boston Celtics punched their ticket to the conference semifinals with a dominant 118-84 Game 5 win over the Miami Heat that clinched the series. In the West, the Dallas Mavericks crushed the Los Angeles Clippers 123-93 in Game 5 to take the series lead. The Mavs will look to lock up their spot in the second round in Game 6 tomorrow, while the Clippers are aiming to force a Game 7. The action continues today with a pair of Game 6 matchups. The Indiana Pacers will host the Milwaukee Bucks, while the New York Knicks pay a visit to the Philadelphia 76ers. A win by the Pacers and Knicks will send them to the second round. Mike Conley will need to make room in his trophy case for some new hardware. The Minnesota Timberwolves guard has been named the NBA's Twyman Stokes Teammate of the Year. This is the second time in Conley's career that he has won the award, after he was also honored as the league's Teammate of the Year following the 2018-19 campaign. The 36-year-old finished ahead of Brooklyn Nets forward Mikal Bridges and New York's Knicks guard Jalen Brunson in the voting. The 17-year vet has also won the league's Sportsmanship Award on 4 different occasions. And the Milwaukee Bucks are hoping their star players will return to the court soon. Head coach Doc Rivers told the media that Giannis Adetokounmpo, I know, and Damian Lillard are very, very, very close to recovering from injuries. Giannis has missed the entire first-round playoff series against the Pacers as he deals with a calf strain, while Lillard injured his Achilles and sat out the last 2 games. Milwaukee trails the best-of-7 Eastern Conference Series 3-2 with Game 6 taking place in Indy today. Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross has turned down a $10 billion offer for the Dolphins, Hard Rock Stadium, and the Miami Grand Prix Formula One race. The USA Today reports Ross and billionaire Ken Griffin were engaged in talks, but couldn't come up to an agreement on the deal. According to the report, Ross wants to keep the Dolphins, the stadium, and the race in his family. The Miami Grand Prix is on Sunday. And that's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite, the original. So he goes back to the water park. And I guess Jennifer, Ms. Miller, the 67-year-old lady that called the boy a fat ass and a brat and pushed him off the float, she gave him a fake name, a fake address, and a fake phone number. Right. They just went to busy. I guess the cop tried to call the phone number, and it's all ding, 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 ding. Sorry, you're busy. Anyhow, so they go back and talk to her about it. And she said that she didn't have an ID and that she felt she was being harassed by the police. She eventually admitted her name was Janet Nail, and they took her in for obstruction.
I love when people use whatever thing to validate their behavior or to invalidate their behavior. Like, I would never do that. I'm a teacher.
Right.
I would never do that. I'm a woman.
Right.
I would never do that. I'm a family man. I would never do that. I'm a veteran. I would never do that. I'm a Christian. Like, settle.
People are people, man. People
Yes.
do crazy, stupid things.
Those behaviors or those traits hardly make you incapable of doing bad stuff, right?
Right, right. You can still be a good Christian person and be a douchebag.
Yes.
Texas woman attacked by snake and a hawk. There's this gal. She lives just outside of Beaumont. Her name's Peggy Jones. And Peggy's out there mowing her lawn last week on her rider, just minding her own business. And out of nowhere, the snake falls from the sky, lands on her, and then wraps itself around her arm, right? Ooh. So here's Peggy mowing her lawn on a hot Texas day with the snake around her arm. She's flailing it all over the place, trying to shake the snake off of her arm. Okay, that sucks. But then out of nowhere comes this hawk and swoops down on her and starts attacking the snake, trying to get the snake, right? So she says the snake swooped down on her like 4 times. Eventually, it ran off with the snake. It got the snake off of her arm and then flew off with its dinner. She said there was blood everywhere. She thought that she had been bitten. Her husband heard the commotion, comes out. Peggy, what the hell's going on? She told him what happened. He takes her to the ER. They treat her for the scratches and the bruises. Come to find out she wasn't bitten, but she did get close because she found some venom on the lens of her glasses.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. But nonetheless, Peggy's fine. She was treated. She went back to the house, and she considers herself to be the luckiest person alive to have survived such an attack. Not the first time Peggy was bitten by a venomous snake, though. She says she was bitten a few years back as well.
But I bet it's the last time she mows the lawn instead of her husband doing it.
Or she doesn't have a husband because he died suddenly.
Before the next lawn mowing?
Yeah,
damn.
Crazy things happen.
Right.
Some women like mowing the lawn.
Yeah, I know. I enjoy it too. But, man, if that happened to me, I'd be like, this is why you're supposed to be doing this, not me.
So put me in danger.
Right.
Yes.
She did say that her old man, when they got back to the house, she got back on the tractor, but he stayed close and kept an eye on the
Because what's he going to do?
Right.
Duck!
Right.
Stop.
You see something flying, you just bat it out of the way.
No.
Yeah.
Wild brawl breaks out on dock among dozens of people. This happened out in Alabama on Saturday among dozens of people in a manic scene that mirrored a massive WWE fight, and it was all captured on video. Montgomery police have issued 4 active warrants as of Sunday, and more will likely follow as they review videos posted to X. Local NBC affiliates, station WSFA reported. About 7 p.m. on Saturday, a witness claimed that a group of boaters refused to move their pontoon boat so that the Harriet II riverboat could dock. The account was seemingly backed up by the Montgomery mayor. He said last night the Montgomery Police Department acted swiftly to detain several reckless individuals for attacking a man who was doing his job. Warrants are being signed and justice will be served. A shirtless man appeared to throw the first punch, running up and punching the dock worker in the face. The worker tosses off his hat as onlookers shout, and the two struggle before 2 more men jump in and punch the staffer. A woman can be heard yelling at others to help the employee. A man then runs down a ramp to the dock, and another jumps in the river and swims over to defend the worker. Several others walk down on the dock in support of the dock staffer, and the fight appears to end. However, another clip shows a group of people approaching the pontoon boat, and the opposing groups began throwing punches, pulling hair, and even tossing a woman into the water as bystanders then start shouting. And then there's a third video that shows even more people, both men and women, joining the fight. One man takes a folding chair, whacks a man, and then he whacks a woman with it. and part of the pontoon boaters over the head with it before officers grab him and cuff him. Officers also cuffed several of the pontoon boaters. The fight appeared to develop along racial lines as the boaters were white while the dock worker and the others fighting against the boaters were black. And the police department said, as our police department investigates these intolerable actions, we should not become desensitized to violence of any kind in our community. Those who choose violence will be held accountable by our criminal justice system.
I mean, you can easily jump to the one subject was black, the others were white,
right.
and make that a. I don't know if they were like, he's black, how dare him talk to us.
Right.
I don't know if that's what happened. It definitely is possible.
Right.
But it's one of these cases of drinking and boating, and you think the rules don't apply to you.
Yep.
There are no rules on the lake, bro. There's that video going around TikTok, like anything goes on the lake. Everybody who's driving is either drunk or 11, and people are just doing crazy, stupid stuff. It's the lake. Listen, I'm with you. There are rules, but it's seemingly there's no rules on the lake.
Let's just go with that's true. You weren't on the lake. You were docking.
Right.
Which means you were on someone's property.
Right. Now back to rules. No rules on the water, but you got rules on land. You better follow them.
And if you're gassed up and this riverboat, giant riverboat, needs to come in and dock, they're on a tight schedule.
Right.
So
Who cares
move
about
your
a schedule? It's my boat.
Yeah.
Right.
Move your pontoon
I don't
ass
have
out of
to
the
move.
way.
I don't have to move my Triton. I've got the longest running game shows in television history.
Fun.
You want to guess one?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy's on here.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's
The
what brought
Price
us.
is Right.
Price is Right, of course.
Okay, so those are the three basics. What about Press Your Luck?
No.
Yeah.
So, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Really?
22 years. Password, 23 years.
The Pyramid.
What's My Line? 24 years. Pyramid, 25 years. Let's Make a Deal, 35 years.
Wow.
Now, does that count? Because it wasn't 35 years consecutive. It was It was the Monty guy for a while, and then they brought it back with Wayne Brady. So I guess mash them together, it works.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be consecutive, like Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune, and Jeopardy. Those are all consecutive years.
Yeah, I think if you work at KMOD and then take a break and come back, you get X number of years.
Okay.
Right?
Alrighty then.
Ooh.
Family Feud, 40 years.
Okay.
Wheel of Fortune, 48 years. Jeopardy, 54 years. This show I've never heard of because it's in another country. Des Chiffres et de Lettres.
Sure, easy for
Numbers and Letters, 56 years. It's still on today. Price is Right, 60 years.
So that's the longest. Price is Right.
Price is Right, yeah,
Wow.
is the longest one. Or is it going to be a thing that comes out like it did with Bob Barker that he had to kind of step away because
he owed.
he like a miscusi.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. Well, it was a different time then.
Right. It changes. Empathy towards humans.
All right.
60 years is a long time, though, for a game show.
Yeah, for sure. It just makes me wonder how long those are going to be on. Are they going to keep doing it? They're going to revamp it, make it different so they can keep that name going? Because really, that's all that people are going because of the name. People were watching because of the name, because they watched it growing up, Everybody knows that when you're sick and you're staying home from school, you're watching The Price is Right.
Yeah. I think shows like Price is Right is a different game show, obviously, than like Jeopardy or Wheel, because they have to technologically evolve.
Okay.
They have to evolve the show and the games.
Right.
You can have some classics, but you've got to introduce new games on Price is Right, because technology changes and people's understanding of things changes.
That makes sense.
Wheel of Fortune, it's spin a wheel, earn points.
It's
Now,
the
how
same
they
game.
derive the letters and things like that, or on Jeopardy, can obviously change. But overall, it's the same game.
Yeah. There's no need to change it.
Tic-tac-toe, celebrity whatever, doesn't last because you get annoyed. You get annoyed with just because you're famous doesn't mean you're awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And some of these other shows, that's why I like Pyramid, and like it runs its exhaustion level. That's why they don't do just Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. You want to see people that are like, quote unquote, you win.
Right. It gives you hope
Absolutely.
and a chance that you could be on that show someday and you could win that money.
The number of people that are like to know someone to be on Wheel of Fortune is rare. Think about all the times they come through and recruit people, and then how many people from here actually get on the show? Not very many. Good morning. It's the Big Matt Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. We want you to rock the bank at 9 o'clock this morning. It is your first of 9 chances to win $1,000 while you work this morning. Listen for that nationwide keyword, and when you hear it, enter it online at the website that rocks, KMOD.com, and you could be $1,000 richer. Again, at 9 o'clock this morning, and then 9 chances to win throughout the day.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning. We want to toast our troops. If you're a veteran or know a veteran, we want to get you hooked up just for simply serving, doing your duty, okay? We're going to get you hooked up with a case of Shinerbach and dinner for 2 at Mondo's Italian Restaurant in the heart of Brookside. Every Monday during the month of May, for our listeners are awesome, we're going to highlight a vet. So if you are one or know one, just go to the website that rocks, KMOD.com, click on the contest page. You'll see it right there, toast our troops, and just fill out the form, and I'll get a hold of you. That easy.
All right, let's see what Gimpy has.
Be around the world, take my strong hand, get on the Gimp train, on the Gimp train. Be around the world, take my strong hand, get on the Gimp train, Gimp train.
You are my kind of cripple, Gimpy. Tremendous.
First, I just got to point out how Lindsay was flexing every time I said strong hand in that song. Thought that was hilarious. So this segment might get a little personal for you guys.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not going to apologize for it. It is what it is. So,
Well, then thanks for the warning.
hey, no problem. No problem. You guys have been married for a coon's age.
We're not married to each other.
Not you to each other, but you guys have your spouses, and you guys have been with your spouses for god dang ever, okay? So what I have here are things that men and women both do in the bedroom that they don't like. So, like, for Lindsay, it'd be like things that guys do that she doesn't like. And for Corbin, things that women do that guys don't like. Okay? So, we'll go through this. And I'm imagining that with your current spouses, none of this really applies. Maybe it does. I don't know. But maybe previous lovers in your time. Okay? So, we'll just kind of start with Lindsay here. Lindsay, these are things that guys do in the bedroom that women don't like. Okay? So, tell me if any of this applies to you. All right?
Okay.
First one straight out the chute, when they try to recreate some position they obviously seen in a porno.
I don't mind that.
You don't mind that?
No.
Because this person was like, you're basically ended up doing a handstand looking like a mess, having to hear them say, oh, you like that, don't you?
No.
I mean, I feel like that would be a pretty extreme, like you implied, a handstand. Otherwise, how would you know it was done in a porn?
Right. Outside of the same basic couple of positions, you know, it's something weird that's happening. It's like, okay, I saw that worked, but again, that's just a movie. You know, like the Pakistani pile driver is not going to be in your normal rotation of positions.
No, let's be adventurous.
Or a porn. Why would you want to watch that? I was having this discussion with my wife. There is a thin line between, like, if you are a guy in the bed, you meet a guy at the bar, right? And he takes you home or whatever, and like kind of crazy, rough sex, and does things that's never been done to you. There's just something. There's a thin line between that and overzealous and creepy.
Okay. Like sometimes it's hot, but if you cross that threshold and it's a thin line, then it's just weird. Is that what you're saying?
So, like, I'm just going to pull somebody's name out of a hat. Brad Pitt does it to you.
Okay.
You're like, yes.
Oh, okay.
If DJ Qualls does it to you, which he wouldn't because he's not your type, you would be, he's not your type because you don't have the right parts. You would be like, it was creepy.
Yeah.
Makes sense, I guess.
For sure.
Right. It's weird to think just because well, I guess it makes sense that you're attracted to that individual.
But, I mean, you would think, I mean, you're attracted to them and you were attracted to them enough to take them back to your place or go back to their place and have the sex, right? So, I mean, you got that going for you at least. And I guess if they pull out some weird jive, you're like, whoa, 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 that could be a total turnoff.
Right.
Sure.
It's a miscalculation that women want to be destroyed in the bedroom.
Right. Because they saw it in a movie.
They might just want sex.
Absolutely.
That's the end of the sentence.
Another thing that this article says that guys do in the bedroom that women don't like, Lindsay, when you are on top, you the woman, and the guy's just laying there staring at you.
Sometimes it can get a little creepy. Like, why are they looking at me like that? Or do I have something in my teeth? Or is there a
They're not
booger
looking
hanging
at
out of
your
my
teeth.
nose?
Y'all have some bad sex.
What's going on? But other times it's like, oh, he's staring into my eyes. He's so in love with me.
Here's a question. Would you rather the person you're having sex with, in the position that Gimpy's describing, have their eyes closed or open?
Open.
That's a good one. Really? Why?
Well, because they'd like it to go creepy pretty fast. Goodness gracious, it's a no-win.
But that's a fine balance you got to do there, because I'm thinking, like, if the person's eyes are closed all the time, it's like, well, are they even enjoying it?
God, you
see what I'm
guys.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, do you just sit there and blink uncontrollably? That's weird.
You guys need some Valium or something. Like, chill out.
Another one here, Lindsay, is when they spank you so hard that you just want to turn around and punch them in the face.
Yeah. Sometimes it does get annoying.
Okay, so like one time maybe all right, 2 times maybe all right, but if you're just sitting there just like birthday spanking,
I'll take it. Yeah, by the 4th, and not in a row. You got to space them out if they're gonna be really hard spanks. You got to space them out.
Okay,
because you got to give your butt cheek time
or
to
at least
heal a little
switch
bit.
sides or something to that effect. Don't focus on just one cheek. Maybe split them up a little
Absolutely,
bit.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This one here, and I think this might apply to both of them. And I read these articles, and there is one definitely that is on both articles, and we'll get to that later, whatever. But I think this one applies to both of them. When they just stop. When they just stop, right? And the other person did not, achieve things, right? It's kind of, I guess it's kind of like a one-sided sort of thing, i.e. blue balls or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So I think that falls under the category of both parties would not like that at all whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
Never had a problem.
Always good mind.
I've always had the opinion of if it's on you.
Okay.
So if your partner ends before you or just stops,
right,
that's on you. Like, it's about communicate.
Right.
That doesn't feel good.
Right. Come on now. Help somebody out.
Yeah.
I get it. Lindsay, this is another one. It says, asking, do you like that? I bet you just talk and see. It says here, how about just don't talk and see if I look like I don't want to kill myself and watch Family Guy over my shoulder.
No, I like the communication.
Yeah.
You can ask, and I'll tell you if I like that or not.
But okay, and I guess that goes with along with spankings, you kind of want to space it out. You don't want to seem insecure. Be like, you like that, huh? You like that? Is that good? Huh? It's like, come on, man, just do the job.
I mean, the majority of people are bad at dirty talk.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And those that think they are good are bad at it. So it is not, you're like, you like that? And if you're spanking that your hand's hurting, you're doing it wrong.
Right. You got a cup. Don't use the butt of your hand.
If your arm's tired because of the quantity you're delivering.
Right.
That's fair. It says here, Lindsay, that when they ask you to strip, is that something that women don't like? When the guy's like, hey, why don't you, do a sexy dance and strip for me?
Little strip tease for me.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fun if you've been drinking a little bit. You're a little tipsy, then you can get into it a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
It said here's something about skinny jeans getting stuck at your ankles.
Oh, yeah.
So with that being said,
Always awkward.
If you're going to do that strip tease in the bedroom, I would advise not wearing jeans.
Right. It's definitely easier to have a dress on or skirt on, something like that.
Jeans, sweatpants, those are a no-go.
Nothing is sexier than asking your wife or girl to strip tease, and then she has to ask you to undo a button.
Right.
That's sarcasm.
Yeah, right.
Getting undressed
So
is
tough.
always
So
awkward.
tough.
Can you get the zipper? Start the zipper.
Get this bra strap for me. Oh, great.
It says here, Lindsay, that when they drag it out because they're waiting for you to get where you need to go first. Is that a bad thing? Is that something women don't like? When they drag things out because, they're trying to make sure you're taken care of.
No.
I didn't think so either. I
Not at
wouldn't
all.
think so. Take your time, make sure the job gets done thoroughly.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if it's like 3 hours later.
Oh, God.
That might be a bit of an issue.
Dial back on the
Dude,
CrossFit,
come
bro.
I got laundry to do.
3 hours?
Right.
I know you're facetious,
Kids are
but
going to
like,
be home soon. Come on.
yeah.
It's like, come on, wrap this up, bro. We got things to do.
I think the clothing one you described and the dragging it out is a total porn thing.
Right. Stuff that we see in movies that you think that's going to work. But
Getting undressed is not awesome. Right? It's awesome to to see your person get naked.
For sure.
But the act of physically taking your clothes off, you never, ever look cool taking your socks off.
All right, I was about to say the same. Ain't nothing sexier than somebody rolling their socks off of their heel.
No woman wants to see a man take his underwear off on one leg and then flip it up to catch it.
Right.
Because you all do it.
Right. Or they take their socks off and they got little sock fuzzies in between their toes or whatever.
Yes.
Here's another one, and Corbin, it might cost me a dump here, but it says when you're trying to go downtown in the morning, okay, and it says this person feels it feels unclean and just gross. Is that something that women don't like when you're trying to do that business in the morning time, like straight up wake up, go to town?
Yeah, I don't think you should probably go there in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think, again, this is back to communication, knowing if your
Right.
partner likes it.
Right.
That's fair. Here it says, casually trying to go the backdoor route without even asking or anything.
No, you got to communicate that.
Goodness great. You mean rape?
Exactly.
You mean rape.
No, not so much. I mean, you guys are already doing it.
Read it how you read it the same way because you said without asking.
Right. And listen, that's just half the sentence. I wasn't sure how far I could go into this sentence without getting dumped, but I'm going to take a chance.
It's rape.
It says casually trying to go the back door without asking and without the lube. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Not without asking. The word's still in there.
Right.
All right, Lindsay.
My wife.
Right. All right, we got it. And I'll move on to what the ladies do. Nipple biting. Lindsay, yes or no?
Not usually,
Okay.
but sometimes.
Like a little nibble's all right, but
Yes,
don't clamp down on it.
exactly.
Gotcha. No chomp.
Right.
And then lastly here, before I move on to things that women do that guys don't like, it says here that women don't like men with baggy boxers.
No.
It says here, ew.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of boxers. Boxer briefs, yes.
I could be wrong, but my understanding is that boxers are out.
Right. It's kind of back to, whitey tighties, hybrids, boxer
I don't think
briefs.
tidy whities. I think boxer briefs. I think
That's
my
fair.
understanding.
That's fair. Okay.
Not boxers.
All right.
Lindsay?
Yeah, boxers just remind me of younger boys and what they like to wear or something like.
No, that's a
You
good.
know,
No, that's a
I
good
just-
point. I would think you would want to avoid that image.
Right.
Makes sense. And not ones, regular underwear that have Spider-Man on them either. Stay away
Correct.
from those
Yes.
as well. All right, Corbin, tell me if any of this has applied to you in the past, because I'm imagining, like I said, you've been married for a long time and none of this would apply currently, but maybe in
Okay.
previous lovers. When a woman would change into their comfy pajamas as soon as the sex is over.
That's a turnoff?
That's what this article says. That's something that women do that guys don't like in the bedroom.
I mean, I would rather you wait till I'm asleep to take your makeup off and put into your cozies. What are you talking about?
Right?
Who cares?
I'm kind of with you on that one.
I'm probably asleep anyway.
We done. Get comfy.
You're already snoring.
Get comfy. It's okay.
Yes.
Put those pajamas on.
You're
It's
human.
fine.
You're allowed to get as comfy as you want whenever you want. What a
Right?
bizarre thing.
It says here, Corbin, when they watch TV over our shoulder. I can't honestly remember or think if that's ever happened to me. Maybe I'm just so caught up in the moment I'm not paying attention, or I'm looking at boobs, not paying attention to see if they're watching Dallas
Like, look
or
at-
whatever.
Look, I don't understand looking over your shirt. Like on your phone?
Right. No, like they're laying there. You guys are banging away. TV's on in the background, right? And you're just going to Pound Town.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
over there watching TV instead.
Oh, yeah. No, I need to see you involved.
Yeah.
Please be present.
Absolutely. I would give you that one. It says here that being slapped in the face during the sex, Corbin.
That it's a turnoff?
That is a turnoff. That is things that women do that guys don't like. It says don't try to break the jaw. It just hurts. So being slapped in the face.
It's fine.
I don't know where you stand.
No, I think, listen, a little spice once in a while ain't bad.
Right.
I'm okay with domination from the other side, but to me, if we're going to play a little slappy slap, I'm down.
Right.
But
are you saying expect to get slapped back?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
Like,
That's fair.
But I'm not trying to clean your clock.
Right.
Not that way.
Hey, no. It says here when you stop making an effort with your underwear, it says, I don't want to see your granny panties on a daily basis. I'm not saying you got to wear the sexy frilly thong underwear all the time, but at the same time, period panties are not attractive, man.
I am torn on this one. I like seeing my wife in cute panties. Also, I'm not going to demand her be uncomfortable.
Fair. That's fair.
So if period panties make her comfortable, who am I to say she shouldn't do that?
This one here says, and I kind of disagree with it, but that's just my own personal preference, going way over the top with the noises. Like waking the neighbors type noises.
Like the movie Striptease?
In the pool scene or whatever. Yeah. Me personally, why are you thinking that? I say the louder the better. That's just me. I want to make the neighbors uncomfortable or roommates uncomfortable or whatever.
I do too. I like being able to be loud. It turns me on even more when we're loud.
Right?
As long as it's authentic.
Okay. Yeah, you can tell when it's fake.
Either be a really good actor
Yeah.
or don't do it.
Okay.
Don't be like, oh, yes, this is awesome.
Okay.
Right, if you-
baby.
It's just got to feel believable. I don't know if there's a really great explanation other than just saying that.
Here's one, Corbin, that I think is just an absolute no, and it goes on everybody's, on both ends, men and women. Bringing your ex up before, during, or after.
Yeah. Why are we talking about exes anyway?
Yeah.
How is this even a question?
Right. During and after. Like, I don't know, maybe even before, because you guys talk or whatever, and it's like, well, my ex Steve, blah, blah, blah. If you said my ex Steve did X, Y, Z, then I could see how that'd be turned. But I think the general rule is just leave the exes out of it.
I don't want to hear another man's name. End of sentence.
True statement. And lastly here, the one that was common on both parties here, don't check the oil, if you know what I mean.
I've never let that happen. There's no way. I will gladly slap your hand like you're trying to take a piece of steak off my plate. But people say, and I've seen videos where one of the parties looks like they're enjoying it.
Right. Again, that goes back to, the videos that you watch. And you're like, oh, I bet you she liked that. So it's, no. It's clearly on both articles I read, both men and women, because they're separate articles.
Yeah.
They both said, don't check the oil. Just leave it be.
I kind of equate sex or having sex with someone like this. You got to read the room. You don't walk into a dinner party and tell, an Andrew Dice Clay joke. Right? You got to read the room.
Dickory duck.
Right. You don't go into the church and do that.
Right.
So if things are going in a direction where Slutty Sandy has showed up, then maybe. Right?
Yeah.
If she's given some dirty words and you've done some things you've never done and you want to keep pushing the envelope, okay.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah.
The hardest part about sex, in my mind, is that you've got to read if we're doing this. Are you into it?
Right.
Am I into it?
And there, you figure there'd be motions or notions or voices or something.
A nod?
A nod, yeah, whatever, that would say, yes, that's okay. But I think all around, and I think everybody would agree, I don't know, some people are into that sort of thing.
And some people are very quiet with the occasional grunt.
Right.
And so you read any noise. Guys are that's why guys ask so much of like, do you like that? Because we're giant babies. We need constant affirmation.
We just stupid and glad that we're getting laid.
That's why we ask you to come see how well we washed the car.
Right.
Or mowed the yard. Or we unloaded the dishwasher.
Pat my head. Tell me I did a good job.
Right? That doesn't end in the bedroom. We so any type of there's a great bit that I heard this lady say, and she said all my relationships with men changed when I started calling them Big Daddy.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
But test it if you don't believe me.
Interesting.
I think
call your man in the throes of passion, Big Daddy, and see how his game escalates.
I'm going to say, I'm not going to call the lady Big Daddy. That's just weird. But
No, it was women towards men.
Or Big Mama. Oh, you like it?
Yeah, it does not go. That's a one-way street, man.
Hey, Big Mama, give it to me. Anyway, nonetheless, in the end, all I can say, don't check the oil.
Been around the world, take my strong hand, get on up.
Tiny.
Ooh. I think the biggest tip giggity that I got was, I think it was like a $20 bill. Yeah, it was a $20.
For one song?
For one song. Yeah. Those drunk bitches, man, when they want to hear it, they'll pay for it. Like,
what's the most you hauled in a night, tip-wise?
Tip-wise is like $100.
Damn.
That ain't too awful
not bad.
No.
And I don't have to split that with, like, the other barbacks, bartenders, waitresses, or whatever. That's all me. So that
would they split their tips with you?
No, hell no, never. But they had to split it amongst themselves or whatever. So I was total separate entity, got to keep everything.
I've never tipped a DJ ever. Well, I've told him to get out of that career, but I mean, I've never.
Horrible tip.
That's technically a tip. I've never. No.
Yeah.
Now, if you were did you ever DJ a gentleman's club?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't or wouldn't have back then, but no.
It's like having to be an employee at a weed store. What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's true. Good point.
Nothing would ever get done. Cinnamon.
to work.
Wait a minute. Who's going to announce Cinnamon? Get off of Cinnamon's lap, Gimpy. Come on.
She likes me, man.
Right.
It told me.
We're trying to pay each other's electric bills. Come on.
Predictions that were made in 1923 of what it would be like in 2023, which is, for those that don't know, you're 4 days into it. 1, the workday will be only 4 hours long. Check.
Yeah, right. We got that one, don't we?
It says that because of electricity, work will only be 4 hours long. That's what they said in 1823. Women will blacken their teeth and shave their heads.
Well, I mean, there's some weirdos out there that would do that.
No.
You don't think?
No, there's no one do. There may be 2.
That doesn't matter.
But it's not a thing.
Yeah. Yes.
It's now predicted that by the year 2023, only a mere little stretch of century ahead, women will probably be shaving their heads, and the men will be wearing curls. Those 2 things are true. Also, the maidens may pronounce it the height of style and personal pimping to blacken their teeth.
That's interesting.
Nope.
They had it wrong. Whiten their teeth, yes.
Whiten?
Yeah, right.
Whiten their teeth,
You're
right. Radio, yes, will replace gasoline.
What?
Okay.
An expert in airlines and airplanes gives, he predicts that by the year 2023, gasoline as a motive power will have been replaced by radio.
Okay.
And the skies will be filled with a myriad aft going over well-verified routes. So he's not wrong, by the way. This is actually happening and true.
Mm-hmm.
The belief, we just didn't understand then how radio waves would affect airplanes.
Right.
Now we know that not to be a problem unless it's your cell phone.
Turn it off.
All people will be beautiful by 2023. I present at least 2 cases, Your Honor.
Be nice to Lindsay.
Life expectancy will be 100 years.
What? People are dying earlier and earlier, man.
No, they're not.
Cut that in half.
No. Life expectancy will be 300 years.
Oh,
my
Jesus.
gosh.
People will wear kidney cozies.
A kidney
What
cozy.
the hell?
Yes, kidney cozies will be worn to protect the kidneys on chilly days, just the same as a teapot in the north is kept warm by a tea cozy.
Okay. Do your kidneys get colder than the rest of your body?
No, but again, when they were doing medicine, one, there weren't doctors like what we know doctors to be now. People would just be like, I'm a doctor.
Right.
Right? And they used to drill holes in women's heads to
Right.
let out demons. And they thought washing your hands meant you weren't a good doctor.
Right.
The idea was that the bloodstained hands would prove you knew how to do the work.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So men will curl their hair. Yeah, that's been happening for a while.
Yeah.
The old man perm.
The U.S. will have a population of 300 million.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think we surpassed that one.
Yeah. Now I have 8 billion.
Fornicating is fun.
It's in 2021 it was 331 million. So it's not a giant. It's not so far off. Canada will have a population of 100 million.
Okay. I don't know what the population of Canada is, but I'm sure it's more than that. More than
38.2 million.
Yeah.
Utensils will be made of pulp.
Pulp. Okay.
Utensils and dwellings will be manufactured largely of pulp and cements so as to utilize vegetation and stone in every stage of decay, ordinary waste, or unfitness. I mean, it's not wrong, right? Like MDF is a real product.
Uh-huh.
That's pulp, essentially, right?
Yeah. I just don't know if I want to live in a house that's made of pulp and cements.
Flights from Chicago to Hamburg will only take 18 hours.
I've never flown from Chicago to Hamburg, so I do not know.
I think it's like 8 or 10, maybe.
Okay.
Newspapers will have been out of business for 50 years.
Wow. I mean,
They didn't get
they're half right.
Yeah.
Private kitchens will disappear.
Private kitchens.
Yeah, they're citing articles, by the way. I'm reading from an article.
Okay.
The private kitchen will disappear. Tomorrow's food will be seasoned and prepared by chemical formulas.
Hello, Fresh.
Which will preserve the freshness of fruits and meats, rid them of indigestible qualities, and send them to the table ready to use. Instead of sauces that merely cozen the palate, we shall have delectable blends of concentrated vitamins, calories, ferments, and tissue tonics.
Ew.
I mean, we have all that now, right?
Yeah, we do.
Look at like Frank's.
Yeah.
It is a tissue tonic,
Okay.
if you will. The tissue of your tongue.
Got it. Okay.
Cancer will be eradicated.
I wish.
Cancer, tuberculosis, infantile paralysis, locomotor ataxia, and leprosy will be eradicated.
I don't think any of those are eradicated at all whatsoever.
I mean, we've pretty much handled tuberculosis pretty well.
Yeah, I'm sure we got a good
And
handle on
leprosy.
leprosy.
I think leprosy's,
Yeah.
You know, but there's still places in the world. When you say eradicated, I'm thinking it's like gone completely from the world, nowhere around it all whatsoever. Now, I'm sure there's third world countries where TB's still a thing, where leprosy's still a thing.
War will be wireless, and we might have telepathy or telepathy.
I like telepathic idea, but I mean, wireless, think about it.
War is
Cyber
wireless.
It is
yeah.
wireless, yeah.
People will communicate using watch-size radio telephones.
Wow.
Watched size radio
I can answer the phone on my watch.
Yes,
I can
you
answer the
can.
phone on mine.
How fun are those, huh?
Yeah.
So they weren't too far off. Now, here's the problem with a thread like this.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the ones that were way off?
Mm-hmm.
Right, of course.
Right?
Of course. But they don't want those. Those aren't as interesting.
And they're only showing by 2023. I can't cite what year that came out of.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just whatever the thread. Again, anything on the internet, man, you might as well just go with not true.
Right.
You're like, it might be true. Probably not. Might be. Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show, 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Let's play a game because we got tickets to Chevelle we're going to give away. Chevelle is over at the Tulsa Theater on July 24th. Hit TulsaTheater.com to get your tickets, and we're going to play Schnipp, Schnapp, Schnurr. Current record is...
Well, so it looks like Lindsay and I are tied with 7, and you got 2.
Last week's winner?
That would be Lindsay.
So Corbin and Gimpy at 918-460-KMOD. 918-460-KMOD. Call up to decide who's going to be your clue giver. Whoever gets the most right is going to win those tickets to see Chevelle, July 24th. Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
Jake.
Jake. Hey, buddy. How are you?
Awesome. How are you guys?
Good, Jake. Who do you want to give clues? Gimpy or Corbin?
Corbin, let's get the win.
All right, Jake. 60 seconds are on the clock. Timer starts after the first clue. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. In soccer, this is the guy around the net that stops the ball.
Goalie.
What's another name for him?
Goalkeeper.
Correct. The company that makes iPhone.
Apple.
Yes. Crest makes this. You put it on your
toothpaste.
Correct. This is the car company that makes the Ram.
Dodge.
And this is there was a vintage car. They brought it back. Lightning Bolt.
Dodge Charger.
Correct. This is the Powerball is a form of what?
Lottery.
Correct. It's a peripheral for your computer, and this is the piece of cloth that you put it on so it can track where you move it.
Mouse pad.
Correct. Horses do this when they run really fast.
Gallop. Jog.
Yes. Apple, cherry, blueberry are all forms of
fruit.
Yes, but in a dessert form.
Fruit.
3.14.
Pie. Fruit pie.
Time. 7 is what we got, man. Might be good enough. Excellent job, sir. Hang on the line.
All right.
Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
Daniel.
Daniel, you've got to beat 7. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
You're not.
I love the uncertainty. All right. Ready? Here we go.
Anyway.
Here we go.
This is a Beatles song. I am the blank.
I am the fire?
No, I am the blank. It's an animal with big tusks and whiskers.
Elephant?
Sea animal.
Water?
All right.
Water?
Okay, so you go to this. It's like a sandwich shop. You get these types of meats, cold cuts. You would go to the blank section in Walmart to get slices of cheese and slices of
deli.
meat. Yes.
Deli.
Man, good blank to you. I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you win
Morning.
today. Good blank. I
Morning.
hope you win. All right,
Good
blank
morning.
electric. God damn it, Danny. All right, if it wasn't for this, I would have bad what? If it wasn't for bad, there you go. Wow. His brother's name is God damn. What's his other? He's with Vince Vaughn, Wedding Crashers, Weird Nose.
Owen Wilson.
Yes. B blank and rewind.
Relax.
Yes, relax.
Time.
Be relaxed and rewind.
I'm sorry, man. Daniel, it didn't happen, brother. Thank you for playing.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. See you later. Congratulations, Jake. You're getting those tickets to see Chevelle at the Tulsa Theater on July 24th.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Excellent job, sir. Hang on the line.
All right.
Yeah, this is a type of bud that's really good.
Sure.
Be Kind Rewind is good.
Yeah.
Sativa.
Yeah.
They have the protein bar now. Yeah. Kind
Yeah.
of bars.
Kind. And I didn't hear him say, I am the walrus. Is the song called Walrus?
The word was just walrus.
Yeah, it was just Walrus. Now it's
She
just
just
trying
said
to get
Andy Reid. Looks like one.
Okay. Wilford Brimley?
Minus the tusks
Yeah.
and his land abilities.
And his feet.
Yeah.
And his appendages, yeah.
All right, well, the record now.
Yeah, that keeps Lindsay and I tied with 7, but moves you to 3.
Take a break and we'll be back.
Tulsa's Morning Show is coming right back. The Big Man Morning Show. Tulsa's
Hardly fair.
Yeah.
Once a month I'm bleeding. I got to carry a kid and grow an organ inside me and then dispose of it. Can we even this out? And he's like, I could tie his balls in a knot for a 6-year period.
Right. Like you gotta
Maybe.
you gotta give him something to worry about. Please.
I'm good. I'm good on all that.
Do you know anybody that's ever gotten that, Gimpy?
I do. My nephew, as a matter of fact, came out that way and had to have surgery to get it fixed.
Oh, out of the womb.
Yeah.
So they had to do surgery
Yeah.
on a baby.
On a baby. They had to go
On a
cut
baby's
his little
balls.
baby balls open. Yeah.
Listen, they were already doing the top part, so
Right.
Yeah.
Might
At least
as well.
He'll
just-
never remember it.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know?
Maybe deep seated down in there somewhere. Maybe some hypnotherapy can bring it back. I don't know. But yeah.
I mean,
bizarre.
I hear you, but psychologically, they say those type of things live with you.
Right.
That you may not remember it, but your brain does.
Yeah. It's stored in the memory bank somewhere deep
Yeah.
down inside.
Yeah. Much like they were like, nah, C-sections are fine. It doesn't affect the baby at all.
That explains what
Nah,
we're
it doesn't.
Yeah, it
How?
absolutely does.
How?
They don't get the gut flora.
You know that white
They don't.
cheese
Yeah.
that's
They
covered
don't
over
get
the, baby.
the bacteria from your vagina.
Right.
Vag bag.
They don't.
I get that.
They don't. And so those babies tend to have more digestive problems.
Interesting.
Go down the rabbit hole. Nobody does more C-sections on the planet than America.
We're in a hurry. Turn and burn, man. Turn and burn.
I can't be inconvenienced. I got golf.
Right. Tea time at 4 o'clock. Let's get that baby out of here. Co-pilot was visibly upset before leaving plane in midair. So this comes out of North Carolina, where there's these two dudes, a pilot and his co-pilot, a 23-year-old dude by the name of Charles Crooks. So these guys were running a skydiving operation, and they're in the plane, and they'd already dropped off and picked up 2 sets of people, and they're on their way to pick up the third one. Well, the co-pilot is actually the one that's operating the plane he at this point in time. So the co-pilot comes in for a landing, and it was a hard landing. Kaboom! Ended up breaking the landing gear.
Yeah, I remember the story.
Okay, happened in late July. So the pilot takes the controls, tries to get it back up in the air, back up to 400 feet. Meanwhile, while the pilot is trying to get things under control, he tells old Chuck here, hey, why don't you get on the horn with air traffic control, let them know, hey, we need to divert an emergency landing. Well, instead of doing that, Chuck opens up the window and then barfs out the side. Typical, okay, the guy's shooken up a little
Adrenaline
bit.
dump. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the pilot's like, hey, bro, get it under control. Get these people, on the horn. We need to make a landing.
Get it together, man.
Yeah, instead, he decides to go ahead and lower the ramp from the back of the plane. And that's when old Chuck got up and then takes his headset off, starts walking to the back of the plane, apologizes, and jumps the hell out. Now, Chuck, the pilot did end up landing the plane in a field. Chuck was found in the back of somebody's backyard as a dismembered mess, and the incident is still under investigation.
Yeah. So, did he just go crazy in that moment?
I guess they said that he felt really bad for the hard landing, which I understand.
And the guilt just overtook him to just jump out of the plane?
Yeah, overtook him. Said that he was visibly upset and just said, you know what, F this, I'm out of here. And then, there he goes.
Drugs.
Possibly.
Drugs feels like a better answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do you one better. Falling airplane part barely misses officer at Maine state capitol. So police officer's lucky to be alive after he was standing just a few feet when a 6 to 7 pound steel sleeve smashed into the ground outside the main entrance of the Capitol on Friday. An officer who works as a screener to the building was walking less than 10 feet from where the part fell. The FAA is investigating and says the part is likely from a large airliner on an international route. Or so they'd like you to think.
Is that common for parts of planes to just fall off like that? I've seen other stories where, like, the landing gear fell off and, ended up going through somebody's roof or something. But I feel like that's just every now and again.
This says things fall off aircraft every day. The Navy recorded an average of 460 incidents per year in the 80s. In the commercial world, Boeing received 200 reports of structural parts falling off its planes between 1989 and 1984, so a 5-year period.
Okay, so in the 80s, it seemed different because in the 80s there were a lot of plane crashes. Pan Am being one of the airlines that seemed like they had a bunch of crashes, which I didn't think was right, but I mean, whatever.
I think that the number of plane crashes every year isn't a lot.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but hold on, I'm getting to the 80s. We'll just go 86.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, God. We're at a baker's dozen.
Yeah, but do you know how many flights there are a day?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot.
Thousands.
It's okay. So 13 out of 1,000, but still, man.
In a year.
Okay.
So times that by 365. That's not very many, bro.
I guess. It just seemed like
it's literally the safest way to travel.
Says you. As
not me.
Parts are just
data.
falling off.
Data. Facts.
How many times you be driving down the road and something just fall off of your car?
Yeah.
It's only happened to me once.
Yeah. And then it's usually later, like, where's my?
Right.
That?
I was driving. It was a 1980 280Z, okay? And rusted floorboards. It was a turd. I paid $700. We pulled it out of a field, right? Well, I'm in Owasso at 86th Street, right there by the highway. Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I was going eastbound towards, the Reese's or whatever. And I was at the stoplight, and I went to take off, and the car lifts up, whoop, and then, boom, slams on the ground. My entire, the strut tower, the whole shebang just came right off and left me on the ground. I was like, well, that's not supposed to happen. Yeah, I got it towed out of there and got it fixed. But I'm just saying, it doesn't happen to cars all the time. Seems like it happens to planes a lot. I call this day spa or dispensary. Okay? So basically, I've got some businesses. These are legit businesses in Tulsa.
Fun.
It's either a day spa or a dispensary.
Okay.
Now, based off the name, you're going to chime in with and that's how you're going to buzz in. Corbin or Lindsay.
Okay.
Got
You
it.
get one shot and one shot only because this is a 50-50 chance. There's no point in, hey, would you like to guess, Lindsay? He said it's a dispensary. No, it's a day. So you only get one shot.
Okay.
Whoever wins at the end, I got a big prize for you. Okay?
Like a little nug, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Maybe.
God knows you have
Day
plenty.
Spa?
Right. So, day spa or dispensary, are you guys ready?
Ready.
All right, we're going to take it up from the top here. Euphoria. Corbin, yes.
That's a spa.
Euphoria is a dispensary. No points for anybody on that one. All right. Nirvana, day spa
Corbin.
or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin would be correct.
Come on, Lindsay.
You got to get in the game, woman. Get in the game. All right. Omni Oasis, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Day Spa.
Day spa is correct. So far, we're tied 1-1. La Fusion, day spa or dispensary? La Fusion.
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, that is incorrect. La Fusion is a day spa. Poppies, day
Corbin.
spa or dispensary? Corbin,
That
yes.
is a day spa.
Yes, you are correct. Poppies is a day spa. 2-1 so far. Corbin's lead. OHG, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Dispensary.
That is correct. Tied
What'd
up.
you say?
OHG. That's all it is. These are all the ones. I just found them on Google.
Sure.
I just simply Googled day spa and then Googled dispensaries and then found a bunch of them that
Sure.
are really close.
I just
and
couldn't
could be
hear. I didn't hear
confused.
you because you were going so fast. I didn't hear you. I didn't know it was
I
letters.
wonder what that stands for.
I have no idea. Nonetheless, moving forward, 918 Elevate, day spa or dispensary. 918 Elevate.
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
Dispensary.
That is correct. Corbin's in the lead, 3-2. One Love Wellness, day spa.
Corbin.
You got to pick it up, Lindsay. Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, One Love Wellness is indeed a
Wow.
dispensary. Yes. Corbin killing it right now. Lotus Blossom,
Corbin.
day spa or dispensary. Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Ah, you are wrong, my friend.
You
Lotus-
might need to.
Lotus
Okay.
Blossom is a day spa. Go ahead, Google
I
it.
know there's a dispensary called Lotus.
There's one called Lotus.
KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. See what Gimpy has in his 4x4. Or now. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, no.
Alrighty then. Well, it says here, Corbin, that new recommendations for breast cancer screenings. The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force is now recommending women between the ages of 40 and 74 to get a mammogram every other year. Previous guidelines made in 2016 said biennial mammograms should start by the age of 50. And then the decision for women to screen in their 40s was at their discretion. Breast cancer is the second most common cancer in women in the U.S. behind, do you guys know?
Prostate.
In women?
Oh, and women. Ovarian.
Lindsay?
Lung.
No, skin cancer.
Oh, skin.
Skin
Yeah, that makes
cancer.
sense.
Yes. Watch out for that prostate cancer, ladies. Just saying.
Settle down over there.
Hey, there's been 16,000 pounds of ground beef being recalled. Over 16,000 pounds of ground beef is being recalled due to possible E. coli. The USDA announced the recalled beef was shipped to Walmart stores nationwide. The affected beef is from the company Cargill Meat Solutions. That doesn't even sound tasty. It says here that the specific recalled products can be found online. I didn't know if you had something to say.
No. Most people have consumed the meat already.
So you think it'd be a little too late for that?
Yes.
Yeah, you've got the E. coli. Watch out now.
Don't I know I'm full of it.
Arizona lawmakers repeal the Civil War-era abortion ban. 2 Republicans joined Democrats to pass the proposal. The 1864 law that banned nearly all abortions was revived by the state Supreme Court last month. The bill now heads to Governor Katie Hobbs's desk to be signed. With the repeal, the state's 2022 law that bans abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy will be reinstated. And then lastly here, there's a local circus. Yes, I said it, a local circus.
It's called the Big Mad Morning Show. Thanks for participating.
Number 1. There's a local circus holding a community jam twice a month at Guthrie Green. The Inspiral Circus Jam takes place every first and third Wednesday through October at the Guthrie Green. People can show off their circus skills with performers from the Inspiral Circus. There's extra hoops and juggling balls.
Dude, this is awesome.
Props. Children under 16 must be accompanied by an adult.
Why are you dogging this?
I'm not dogging it at all. It was just kind of funny to, think about, there's a circus in town. There, there's a local circus. I thought all circuses were traveling circuses.
Well, they all have homes.
Eventually, we live by the road, wherever the
Home
wind
is
takes
wherever
us.
we hang our
hat.
our stilts.
Yeah. And then, just the juggling balls made me giggle a little bit. So, I mean, hey, listen, if you want to, be inspired to be a circus worker, carny, call it what you want, whatever, go check this out.
Circus clown.
So this is actually a company that provides things for events like stilt walkers and aerialists and fire shows and things like that.
Okay.
And they're doing sounds like a temporary residency down there at the Guthrie Green place. But listen, so they do stilt walk.
See?
Just wait for the punch. Stilt walkers, circus shows, aerialists, festival entertainment, fire shows, LED balloon decor, face painting glitter tattoos, balloon artists, and charcuterie artists.
Whoa.
Teach you how to put sweaty meats on a board.
Sign us up.
So if you're having like a big company event or something, you would hire or New Year's Eve thing or whatever. So
no sword swallowers, huh?
Hey, listen, of all of us, you're the only one that's eligible to be the sideshow.
Right.
Right.
See the human dolphin.
The possibility of revenue sharing with college athletes is gaining momentum. Some bowl leaders are hoping for a collective bargaining agreement with the players to help lower the number of opt-outs. Executive Director of Bowl Season Nick Caparelli said that he believes NIL collectives are destined to be brought in-house, and there have been discussions about contracts in exchange for NIL payments. Essentially, if a player signs a contract and receives compensation, they are obligated to play 12 regular seasons, games, and a bowl game, or a bowl game and the playoff.
And now it's starting to get dirty, right? Like,
Yes.
wait, since the Stars aren't playing because they're jeopardizing the money they would make if they played.
Right.
They're going, I'll take my loss, but they're making money off bowl games. So like, well, we need the Stars. Yeah.
And that's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite, the original dispensary. Corbin.
Dispensary.
Corbin is correct. Dave Pura is a dispensary, puts him with the win, 10-8. I'll go ahead and give you the last one, see if you can guess it. Stonebrook Day Spa or Dispensary.
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Spa.
Lindsay would have been correct, which wouldn't matter because it's 10-9. Corbin is the big winner. Congratulations, Corbin.
What'd I get?
You want to know what you got?
Yeah.
My friend, I tell you, you have won my leftover potatoes. That's right, Corbin. I had dinner last night.
I love it. That's awesome, man. I'm actually kind of hungry, so I think that's a fantastic
This is
gift.
perfect.
And you're not a horrible cook.
No.
So that's great. But, I just think it's just an honor to win. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Lindsay. She put in a valiant effort.
Listen,
And,
Corbin,
I just appreciate the competitiveness. And, I'm just one guy on a team, and we're just a team trying to make the thing happen. And, it's an honor to be a part of the Ford Truck Series and anything I can do to make this Hilton Hotel team do the best I can.
Well, Corbin, I'm glad that you accepted and decided to give your prize of potatoes to the loser of the game, but that's not all that you're going to win. All right? So not only do you get my leftover dinner from last night, my potatoes and a little bit of steak with some cheese on top, I'm also going to hook you up with a 6-pack of Twisted Tea. Set right up front because nobody wants this. So I grabbed a pack and you get to take it home with you.
Again, you put
Twisted
zero
Tea.
effort into the prize.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just real grateful that this Hilton Honors team did the best they could, and we'll make sure part of the Ford Truck Series continues. So I'd like to give it to my second place because second isn't winning. So
Twisted Tea is a great beer fridge for guests.
Right.
item.
Well, congratulations, Lindsay. You got yourself some old mushed potatoes and some warm Twisted Tea for losing on Day Spa or Dispensary.
2 Subway employees shot over too much mayo.
okay, I was like sandwich or
Yes.
tunnel.
In Atlanta, police responded to a shooting at a Subway location inside of a Circle K. Reportedly, a customer became irate when too much mayonnaise was squirted onto his sandwich. That's when he allegedly opened fire, hitting 2 female employees, one of which was fatally wounded, and the other is in serious condition. The store's owner says a third employee fired back at the unnamed gunman.
What?
Yeah, but he
A
missed.
third employee. That means the employee had a gun.
Yeah.
Well, by God, we got to save them sandwiches somehow, Corbin.
Yeah. The suspect is in custody. Police said that the woman was 26 years old. A 24-year-old employee was shot in front of her 5-year-old son. She's the one that's in critical condition. The woman was hit twice after she pushed her son out of the way under the counter to keep him from being hurt. The co-owner of the Subway said that a third worker had definitely shot at the gunman. He missed, but at least he put up a little fight, he said. Atlanta police officer said that this was a case of someone with a gun who didn't know how to resolve conflict without resorting to violence. They did not release the identity of the worker who was killed because they were still waiting for family members to be informed, but said both of the employees were young women who had just started at the location about 3 weeks ago. And the customer had been in the Subway location before without ever having an incident. The interim chief of police said so far arguments are the majority cause of homicides this year in Atlanta.
There's a lot going on in this story.
Boy, I tell you.
Your 5-year-old kid was there?
Yeah.
That's what I thought was bizarre. Okay, I get it. You got to go to work and can't find a babysitter, but
Or can't afford one.
Or I
Can't
was
afford
thinking
one.
too, or maybe she was going to get off in like 20 minutes and, maybe the dad dropped the child off.
No, that's also not okay.
Yeah, I know.
It's a weird thing for the 5-year-old to be there. Two, another employee had a gun on him.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, with Subways, they're everywhere.
right.
There was a time that I believe there were more Subways than McDonald's and Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts and all that. They were the most widely dispersed chain.
Yeah, especially for sub sandwiches. Faux show. They had the corner market there. But then some other places started
I think they're
out.
still pretty high up on the list.
You think so?
Absolutely. They're everywhere. You go anywhere, there's a Subway.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Anywhere.
Got 'em inside,
They're so
gas stations
easy.
and stuff.
It's not like a Chick-fil-A, right? Like you go, there are towns that just don't have Chick-fil-A's. I would bet almost every town has a Subway sandwich shop.
And if you're putting too much mayonnaise on mine, I'm giving you a tip. If I don't have to ask for it.
Here's the deal. You can tell them to stop anytime because
Yeah.
you're sitting there watching them make your sandwich. You see how much of everything that they put on. You could have been like, whoa, 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 dial it back on the mayonnaise,
Yeah.
man.
Or you can say light mayo. Or
Right, but what's light mayo?
light on the mayo.
Yeah, but how much is
so-
light? Your light
I'll go
and
to
my
the
light are
store.
not the same.
Yeah.
And I'm the artist here.
All right. These are the most
True.
popular sandwich chains in America. Okay? This is what it says. Blimpie? Have you ever had a Blimpie?
Yeah.
I have, but it's not most popular. It's the most locations,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because I can name my favorite sandwich shop, but it's not everywhere.
Right.
And I would wager the majority of people in this town have never eaten at it, right? So you can't go with most popular. You have to have which sandwich shop has the most locations.
Largest sandwich chain in the U.S. Oh, here we go. Fun. This is as of 2020, so it's a couple of years old. But it says largest sandwich chain. So does that quantify?
I think so, yeah.
As it could be.
Sure.
Okay. Continue to the site. Subway comes in at number 6.
Oh.
It has their rankings on.
What's
here.
number one?
I gotta scroll down. It doesn't have the number 1 listed on the quick list.
Well, what's number 5?
Listen, here's how it goes. 6, 18, 34, 46, 58, 63, 69, 89, 99, 100. There's nothing really. It says rank in there.
Okay. So, all right. So the list you're looking at, those are sandwich ones on the list. So the number 1 sandwich shop is Subway, but it comes on number 6 of all, like probably fast food.
Probably so. U.S. sales and U.S. units. Subway did 10,000. This is the 2019 numbers. Did $10,000 in 2019 with 23,801 units. So is that sandwiches sold?
Or locations.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is when you go. There's been many times I haven't said light mustard or whatever, but sometimes I get more and sometimes I get less. There's no consistency with the.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of that's on the sandwich maker, sandwich artist, whatever you want.
I am confident that after her 2 weeks of working there, she had diligent training.
She sat back there and watched the videos, man, before she started the job.
There's no video.
There's no orientation videos.
Watch Spider.
Drunk Florida man kicked out of bar, returns and attacks bar owner with belt. This happened last weekend in West Palm Beach. A 37-year-old man kicked out of the bar for being too intoxicated, but quickly returned wielding a firearm, according to an affidavit. Fabio Lano Sanchez, arrested by Palm Beach Sheriff's Office. According to records, he was released on last Wednesday with $60,000 bond amount. He arrived to the area on July 23rd around 2 a.m. The owner of the bar said that he shows up, he was a little drunk, then he got too drunk, and he started harassing customers. So they asked the man to leave. He left to his car but came back with a firearm. He pointed it directly at the bar owner and said, "I will shoot you." And then he threatened to shoot the bar's security. Well, then Sanchez decided, "I'm going to just take off my belt," and started swinging it at the bar owner. He hit him multiple times. A security guard began fighting with the suspect, and the bar owner began fearing for his life. He told deputies that's when he called 911, and they showed up, arrested him.
And what you want to say to 82945. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin. You're less than an hour away from rocking the bank at 9 o'clock this morning. When you hear the nationwide keyword, enter it online at KMOD.com for your chance to win $1,000 and spend that money any way you want to. Maybe some concert tickets like Rocklahoma, or pay some bills any way you want. And then you'll have 8 more chances throughout the day to win $1,000 from KMOD. Good luck.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Well, good morning. Rocklahoma's coming up. Labor Day weekend, Prior USA, Disturb, Avenged Sevenfold, Slipknot, tons more. Get your full lineup. Get your link for tickets at the website that rocks. Lahoma, KMOD.com.
All right, so Conspiracy Theory Thursday. The Bigfoot Field Research Organization has recorded hundreds of sightings about Bigfoot. The biggest states for Bigfoot sightings. Want to guess?
Oregon?
Oregon. Correct. I can tell you exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Oregon is 260. Not the most, but definitely in the top 5. Gimpy?
I feel Oklahoma's on that list because they have a festival.
They are not in the top 5.
Washington?
State of Washington, yes. They come in at 717 sightings. Yeah, big amount. Oklahoma does 111, so
Okay.
not even in the same continent.
Okay. So I see a pattern here. A lot of these are in the Northwest. What about Montana?
Montana only recorded 53.
Even Bigfoot doesn't like Montana, huh?
Yeah.
California.
California, 461.
Okay.
So they are definitely one of the bigger ones.
Well, let's go to the other side of the country then. How about New York? Not New York City, but
the state, yeah. More than Oklahoma.
Yeah.
120, but not in the top 5. Of the states that record, they say Washington, Ohio, California, Florida, Illinois, and Oregon are the biggest hot spots in the U.S. for Bigfoot sightings. Pennsylvania gets more than Oklahoma. I know a lot of you naysayers are like, meh. And the last reporting for Oklahoma, 2022, according to the Bigfoot Field Research Organization, which I think we can go ahead and say is one of, if not the official reporting organization for field research of Bigfoot.
Makes perfect good sense. Says it right there.
Says it right there.
I wonder how you get a job for that. I mean,
probably apply.
Well, I mean, I know that. Put your resume together. You know, I'm good out in the woods. I can make a whoop just like Bigfoot.
Right.
Yeah.
So according to the latest report, 2 witnesses were staying in an off-the-grid cabin at a lake north of Coos Bay in Oregon. Quote, "We had a kitchen light on and one other lamp in the front room. At about 10 p.m. on the night of October 3rd, 2019, we heard a noticeable bang on our cabin." She says her husband went outside to investigate, but he didn't see anything and came back inside the cabin. A few minutes later, they heard the same bang again. This time, I turned off the TV and lights, and he looked out the window and also went into our bedroom, which was at the back side of the house. She continued, in the light from the generator shed, he saw a huge figure that began to move toward the light of the generator shed, where my husband could see the creature extremely well. Stunned by what he was looking at, her husband called to her to come see what he had found. Quote, "I took one look at it, and it scared me so badly, I ran into another room," she said. "I knew right away it was Sasquatch." She described the Bigfoot as having a flat face with a prominent brow, covered in reddish-brown hair all over its body, block-type teeth, and lips with a flat type of nose. Quote, it walked upright and swung its arms from side to side as it moved. The look on its face was the look of curiosity and had intelligence to it. It did not seem aggressive, but we did not approach it or threaten it. After about 2 minutes, it moved into the woods. Next morning, after fleeing the cabin following the Bigfoot sighting, they returned and determined that the creature had to have been 8.5 feet tall. Probably looked at like the door, window height, and then measured it and based it off that, right?
Sure.
The BFRO investigator personally spoke with the witnesses. Quote, they're both very credible, respectable, retired Oregonians, people from Oregon. The incident happened at their off-grid lakefront cabin built entirely by the husband who worked as chief millwright at a lumber mill for 30 years. They were so shaken by the incident that they sold the lake cabin not long afterward. He discovered the couple did actually go back to the cabin briefly later that night with 2 sheriff's deputies, found the pathway in the grass where the figure walked into the woods. The deputies did not try to persuade the retired couple that they had merely seen a common animal like a bear. When the couple asked the deputies if they had ever received calls like this from around that area, the deputies looked at each other and only said, yes, a few times. What's the grin for? What are you thinking, Lindsay?
It had to have been a bear. Right?
Say more.
I mean, they said, yeah, a few times. Wouldn't they have maybe they should have put up some cameras. Yeah, if they're getting these calls before. Mm-hmm. You'd think if they've had encounters before, they would put up cameras.
Yeah, but Bigfoot and cameras never really go together. You know, it's always
not.
Blurry, grainy picture. You know, I think Bigfoot has some kind of hidden ability inside him that distorts cameras when his picture's taken. You know?
Yes, and he has some sort of like infrared technology to read it.
Right, right. Hence, therefore, alien? Yes, I think so. Bigfoot is an alien.
I'm just trying to go off my own understanding. If I am someone who builds an off-grid cabin in the woods, I love the outdoors.
Yeah.
Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah.
If I love the outdoors, I'm aware things go bump in the night out in the woods.
Yes.
And if things go bump in the night, and I know Oregon's one of the top places for Sasquatch, and you're unaware of the sightings that happen in that area, that part feels suspect to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 2, you get scared one time and you move.
Right. Well, I mean, Bigfoot's a pretty scary dude, man.
I just don't see. And you build it with your bare hands.
Right.
Right. That makes you a badass.
It makes the story so much more impressive, the fact that you built something with your bare hands and you're willing to abandon that.
Yeah.
Because you think, cannot validate, you think you saw Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can't validate it. No one can validate it.
No.
So you didn't take a picture or nothing. Yeah. And you were so scared you ran and hid.
But got a pretty great description.
Uh-huh.
Even knew what his teeth looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the dark.
Somebody says...
Well, because he walked into the light.
Right. Somebody says, here, sounds like one of those red orangutans. Do orangutans normally hang out in the woods of Oregon?
And are they 8 feet tall?
You know, I mean, I've seen Planet of the Apes, and that big orangutan they had there, well, that was a big bitch for sure. But just being native to the woods of Oregon, I don't think so. Unless it was an escape orangutan.
I mean, that's possible, right?
That is a possibility.
I don't know what the max height of an orangutan could be.
How many drugs were they on at the time?
I always think that's an important factor that should be denoted in these. Had you been drinking?
Yes.
Right. Or, you know, any other kind of illicit substance. You know, that they go out into the woods and eat some mushrooms and trying to enjoy the nature. And then, you know, they saw a shadowy figure and, you know, instantly led them to Bigfoot.
And they always talk about how their investigator talked to them, and they always say, oh, these are credible people. Of the reports that I've read on the BRFO site, none have ever been like, these people are full of malarkey.
Right. It says here that the average height for orangutans, the males are an average of, 4.5 feet tall, while the females are an average of 3'9", so almost 4 feet tall. So there's no way, unless you got two orangutans, one, giving a ride on the shoulders or whatever, I just don't see how that could be.
Which they could be, especially if they're wearing a trench coat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've seen that in movies.
Right.
Which is also where I've seen depiction of Bigfoot.
If it works for the little rascals, it can work for orangutan.
I like this text. Just trying to bump up the resale value of that hand-built cabin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or scare buyers away. Maybe the wife wants to sell it, but the guy who built it doesn't want to because I built it or his dad built it or whatever. And he's like, well, kind of like thinking like that on Step Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
When they're trying to sell the house and they just doing all kinds of weird stuff to get the buyers not to. Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. Mm-hmm. This is from last year, October of last year. And this person says they were backpacking around a lake in Oregon. I took it easy and did it over the course of a few days and 2 nights. Did not sleep great in a tent and would wake up periodically when I'd roll over. Both nights I happened to wake up around 3 a.m. I heard crazy howl yell coming the other side of the lake. It sounded like it was coming from really far away. The calls repeated almost identically for what seemed like several minutes. It sounded like some sort of alarm or something, except that when it was nearing the end of the yelling each time, the howls stopped sounding so identical and began ending in a sort of a guttural yell. I could definitely hear vocal cords. I just laid in the tent in amazement. It had to have been insanely loud to be coming from such a distance. Then on the second night, immediately after the howl yells ended, just to the south of me and not terribly far away, I heard the resounding crack of a clear wood knock. I'm still kicking myself every day for not trying to find my phone to record it. For some reason, I felt like it moved. If I moved, it would stop. Once I got home, I looked at the map of the lake to try and figure out in what direction the calls were coming from. You backpacked without a map? They highly advise against that.
Right.
Just find a stream, and that'll take you to
civility. Yeah. The weird thing is that both nights it sounded like it was coming from the opposite side of the lake where I was. It might just be some Bigfoot hunters out doing their thing, but it seems weird that they would call from such different and far-flung vantage points each night. People underestimate distance at night.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Visually and audibly.
And there's a text here that I agree that probably is the case when it comes to at least that story. Probably one of the neighbors messing with them. With the howling across the way, it could be somebody out there just screwing around, making noises, trying to mess with people. Not so much a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Or it could be mountain lions.
Some other animal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could also be the wind.
Sure.
Right, the wind does howl.
Based on where you're at, it could make a lot of different sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But to imply you have such great auditory skills to be able to decipher the direction of audio across a lake at night.
Right. Right, because the sound's just bouncing off of anything and everything. Water, trees, Bigfoot, whatever.
It's similar to when the lights come on after it's been dark, your eyes, or when you can see things really clearly in the dark because your eyes have adjusted.
Right.
Ears, the same thing. It's more quiet, so your senses are heightened, and so you think you hear something at a better distance than you think you do.
Right.
That's why trying to determine to turn left at night with traffic is harder because you can't tell the distance of the lights.
Right.
I love these stories, though. And I always love that. It happened 4 years ago, but I'm just getting around to...
Right.
It was such a traumatic event that I had to sell my cabin that I had to wait. I couldn't get to it to just now.
That's a busy guy. He's got a lot of things on his plate.
I can't imagine...
Had to build a new cabin somewhere else.
I can't imagine you had to pack up your cabin. Usually those things sell furnished.
Right.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
Tulsa's Morning Morning Show.
Yeah.
Right.
I can taste like the life transferred to the cheese from him to the cheese.
Just cheese smells like death.
Have you ever been into like a cheese house?
No, I don't think so. Mm-mm.
You would remember.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, a house made completely of cheese. I would.
Well, no, not like it's not like the butter exhibit at the fair.
Right.
No, like a fromage, like a place where they sell, like that's all they sell.
Worst smelling house ever.
They have sliding glass doors for each of the rooms of cheese because it's so pungent.
Oh, man. And you know how sometimes you work at places and you take that smell home with you? You know, like if you work at the dump or
Yeah.
as trash man, you
Yeah.
you smell like garbage, you know? Imagine coming home and smelling like stinky foot cheese every day.
So I'm listening to this podcast and they're talking about your senses or whatever. And anyway, that you don't know what your house smells like, right? Is what
Right.
they talk. You have no idea. And that to you, it smells good or nice or whatever, comfortable. But to a stranger, they may come in and go, oh, God, their house stinks.
Yeah.
Does that hold true with somebody who works in a cheese place? Like, they're like, this smells great. Hey, it smells a little off in here. No, it always smells off in here.
Yeah.
Because you have moldy milk.
I would think that like everywhere you go, everything smells like cheese. It's just permeated in your sinuses.
It's just burn in.
Yeah. So everywhere you go smells like cheese because like I don't know anything smells like. It just smells like Parmesan to me or whatever. Ugh.
Some cheeses, I actually like super stinky cheeses.
Right?
Yeah, the taste.
And the smell.
And the smell?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's amazing. It's amazing that we're eating it. It's amazing someone went, let's put this in my mouth.
Right.
That's like it's amazing just the historical factors around the process and to have super stinky cheese. And then there's cheese not stinky at all that also tastes great.
Right. Right.
So the smell plays no part in it.
Yeah.
I think cheese is amazing.
So good.
Yes, it is.
Things that garbage collectors find in the trash. And it made me think twice. Maybe in some instances, we actually could get into that line of work
Oh yeah.
because of the things that they have found in the trash. Reader's Digest did a poll from garbage collectors, and I was very surprised at the things that they found and the money that they have made on the things that they have found. For example, some of the things, of course, not so nice. This guy says that his sister actually worked in waste management for the past 10 years. And 3 years ago, she had a stop at a pretty big school district. And inside the district, they had found some big boxes in the trash. And it was full of computer equipment. And she was a huge techie. And apparently, in 3 of those huge boxes were vintage mechanical keyboards worth about $100 a piece. And she helped her with selling all of them, and they made $10,000 on reselling these vintage mechanical keyboards. That's something that we could get into, or I could.
I'm not going to the garbage.
I'm not going to take the time to resell how many? 10,000 keyboards?
Yeah, they got to drop them off at the post office. Like, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you got the time, it's worth the money. Former garbage man here used toilet paper all the time. Nothing worse than having a bag break and spew out mounds of used toilet paper like some type of unrighteous piñata.
This is a positive?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It seems to be awfully common. You would find something like that in the trash.
Absolutely.
It's the trash.
Yeah, not everybody flushes their waste down the toilet, the paper.
He said, honestly, though, the most disgusting thing he ever saw working as a garbage man was a coworker who regularly ate and drank things that they found in the trash.
But
Yes. One man said, my dad did the recycling run. In the rich parts of town, people would throw away brand new, still in boxes, like wine glasses, shoes, and things like that. We would resell the stuff online and make a few $100 a month. That's pretty cool.
Throwing away brand new shoes.
Maybe they were the wrong size, and
Throwing
I don't have the time to return these. Trash them.
Sure.
I don't know. Not
they got
something
some-
I would ever do.
They were a gift, and maybe somebody's got some beef against that brand or whatever. Like, these Adidas are trash.
Or they only wore them a few times and they took really good care of them and they still looked new. Ashes of the deceased. One time we found someone's ashes in one of the standard plastic tubs funeral homes usually give out. His information was still on the side. Our management contacted his family using the information that was written on the side of the plastic tub, but the family said they threw the poor man out on purpose.
This text says an old coworker found a vintage collection at Playboy magazines, had him appraised, and was told it was worth about $20,000. That's something worth keeping.
Who would you go to for that?
You take it to the Antique Roadshow.
I'm just saying, like, who do you go to appraise Playboy magazines?
Right.
Yeah.
And if they're slightly used, does that depreciate their value?
I would think.
Like, this is great, but pages 39 and 40 are stuck together, so.
And also, if you find a Chiefs shirt and bring it to me, I'm going to be psyched and tell you how awesome it's worth
Right.
is. I just, to me, that is the, when people are like, oh, these magazines are going to be worth so much money. Okay. I just don't buy into that.
Right.
If they're in mint condition.
So what? Again, so what? Who cares?
You got to find somebody who's going to pay that kind of price, whatever.
Exactly.
Drew Carey doll.
We see people on that stupid show, Pawn Stars, and they bring in super rare things.
Right.
And even they're like, it's not worth that much. So I don't know why a bunch of magazines would be worth $20,000. I think some of these stories get so over glamorized to make them sound sexy.
One junk removal company found weapons. We took out some old furniture, including a large desk from a man's house. We were finished and drove to the transfer station. As we dumped our load, the desk came sliding out and hit the concrete. It broke apart, and lo and behold, a .357 Magnum revolver comes tumbling out.
I'm surprised by these dumpsters that take on full pieces of furniture.
Yeah. It's a junk removal company. So
it's probably like cleaned out house.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, I got a buddy of mine that works for local trash company, and he finds weapons all the time. He's found knives and guns and stuff, and yeah, that doesn't surprise me any.
Does he have to alert the authorities if it's a gun?
You know that I don't know. I didn't ask. You think that would be something to ask, but I'm like,
in case it's stolen or part of a crime.
That would make sense, yeah.
Kelly Sarber, the president and CEO of Strategic Management Group, trash cans aren't the only places where creepy things are lurking. It's fairly frequent that we have homeless people mistakenly fall asleep inside a dumpster and delivered to a landfill or other processing facility.
Did you say common?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know it happens.
Fairly frequent, she says.
Yeah. Same trash buddy. Same buddy that's trash, man. He's a good friend. He's not a trash buddy of mine, but same thing. He's had bodies roll out, people, homeless people that have fallen asleep in there. He has lifted up trash can to dump it, right, and found prostitutes back there at work. Behind the trash can, working. People doing drugs and stuff back there. So, yeah, that's another not really surprising at all.
Yeah. One guy says, I worked at a medical waste factory where we would find amputated body parts and bins full of blood and used needles. Yeah. Cold hard cash. I found $4,000 worth of cash in a cereal box once.
Nobody will ever look in the tricks.
Yeah. Local gypsies had been cleaning out their caravan and threw out the box of cash by mistake.
Did you say gypsies?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Okay.
We managed to find the box and rightfully return them their money.
I can only go with what I've seen happen with my trash being picked up.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't go through the trash.
Right.
They just dump it in the thing.
Yeah.
And on to the next stop, right?
Yeah.
And I would think when they dump it at the dump, they back up, open the hatch, dump, pull away.
Same, yeah.
That makes sense for like private residences because mostly in trash bags, and if there's anything that's too large to go in there, let's say a couch or lawnmower or something like that, usually go beside the trash can, not inside of it, you know. So I can see why they wouldn't go digging through your particular trash, a private residence trash. But with public dumpsters, these big ones, you know, we got people out here all the time dumping stuff in our dumpsters in the back parking lot here.
Yeah, but the Trashosaurus Rex comes and gets it.
Right.
They don't even get to see. Most of the time, they don't even get to see in it.
Right.
And again, they back up, dump. Never even seen the again, from what I've seen, I don't. Maybe they do stand out beside it and watch it. But people that are trash people that are listening to the show have told us they don't get out of their rig.
Mm-hmm.
Only to open a gate to get to the dumpster is the only time they get out of their rigs.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that day was like when the automated garbage trucks came through, like the day that they got those, or they were told they're getting those, what that day was like.
They probably hated it.
Why?
Because it eliminated jobs.
Oh, that's true. Well, I still see 2 or 3 people in those trucks.
For residential, but for Trashosaurus Rex. Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. Can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945, Conspiracy Theory Thursday. Lindsay texted me yesterday, and she's like, hey, I have a conspiracy for tomorrow.
Oh.
And I was like, great. And she sent me the stuff for me to talk about it, and I think it's great that someone else wants to bring one up. So take it away, Lindsay.
All right. So you know how Tom Brady was going to become part owner of the Raiders?
Okay.
That hasn't happened yet. And I think I know why. So Sunday, Netflix is airing the roast of Tom Brady. And they're airing it live. They're filming it live. And this is a first. The only time that Netflix has ever done something live is when they did the reunion special for Love is Blind. And I'm like, okay, whatever. A roast of Tom Brady live means we're going to see something pretty big and spectacular. I think the reason why, number one, they're going to air it live is because at the end of it, he's going to make an announcement. He is going to announce his unretirement from football, and he's going to go play for the Raiders. And that's why he's not buying them, becoming a stockholder, because if he is, he can't play.
Yeah, you can't play for the team you own.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's why that's not happening.
Are they still looking for a quarterback? I mean,
Many
they're always
things.
going to
They
need
They're
didn't-
looking for many things.
They didn't have a good draft.
Uh-huh.
So that's my conspiracy theory. He's going to announce it at the end, and that's why they're doing this whole thing live. It's going to be this big, big ordeal.
What do you think, Gibby?
I think that they're doing it live to kind of see and push this live Netflix thing. You know, they said they've only done it one other time before, right? And that was for, what was it again?
Love is Blind.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody cares. So with that, well, hell, we got a big name in Tom Brady. You know, that's going to draw in a whole nother audience. So let's go ahead and do it live. And if this works out okay, then we can start doing more things live and get more content that way. I don't think that he's going to announce. I mean, Cat's what, like 46 or something like that?
Yes, but I believe that he's got a bit of an ego on him. I think that it was his goal to be the oldest quarterback still playing in football, and he doesn't have that.
So Netflix has done many things live. The Love is Blind isn't the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Rock live. Chris Rock Selective Outrage was his first live. and that was in March of 2023. The Love is Blind reunion in April of last year was live. Tudum 2023, a global fan event. I have no idea what it is. I'm not going to take the time to look into it, but that was apparently live. They did a baby animal cam and a baby gorilla cam live for 2 months.
What?
The Netflix Cup aired in November last year, which is a golf thing. The Screen Actors Guild was live in February of this year.
Okay.
The Netflix Slam was live, which is a tennis match between Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz, live from Vegas.
Okay, still doesn't explain why he's not an owner of the Raiders.
Maybe you just don't want to.
Well, those things take time.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
They're not automatics. I think it's an interesting angle for sure. I love the idea of that. But that type of news would be a massive sports story. Why would you bury it? Because you want people to tune in live.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you would, but you're not hearing me. You would want to tell people he's gonna make an announcement.
Right. Tease, if anything.
You don't want people to have a FOMO of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's too big of a moment.
Maybe he's still on the fence.
I guess what I'm saying, it's worth marketing.
Right.
They can't, if they booked the roast, which I think the roast is kind of weird anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a high profile person for sure. They're being super secretive about the list of people that will do roasting, which is weird too. They say Bill Belichick might be one of the guys.
Yeah.
Huh?
Heard that.
What?
I mean, I get it. That's been your boss. That was your boss for umpteen years, but
Yeah.
They didn't end on great terms.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. To me, there's too many unknowns, and if they have Bill Belichick, you would want to promote. Who doesn't want to see Bill Belichick try to be funny? Much less with someone he didn't end a relationship well with. That's where my head's at.
Yeah, I think Bill Belichick has to be there. Even if he wasn't roasting him, I think he would definitely be there in the audience.
Why?
Because people will be roasting him as well. Because all of the roasters, they get roasted as well. The comedians that are up there.
Yeah, there's some people that won't do it because they don't want to get roasted.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I don't see Bill Belichick doing that.
Kevin Hart.
It's a Kevin Hart production.
Right.
What's his company called? Heartbeat or something like that?
Right. Gronkowski.
Totally see Gronk doing it.
Yeah, Randy Moss.
But
Drew
none of these are
Bledsoe.
confirmed.
Right.
Randy Moss?
That's what it says. Other celebrity roasters for the event, which will be hosted by Kevin Hart, include Edelman, Gronk, Randy Moss, and Drew Bledsoe, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Drew Bledsoe?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch a bunch of athletes read jokes that a comedian wrote for them and they don't understand timing.
And I think that's where we're at here is like, because it's Tom Brady, it's like we got to get all these other big NFL names involved, When it comes to like comedians, the comedians they'll get other comedians to roast them, Think about like, even when it was Martha Stewart, they had a bunch of, other people in there, Snoop Dogg, but I don't know. I don't know anything about
Somebody
that.
texted, I forgot about this. We actually watched this. David Chang's Dinner Live. He's a chef, and he does a cooking thing live. I've never watched it live. We've watched it later. But he has celebrities on, and he cooks for them, and they talk. It's very clunky.
Oh.
But, yeah, they do a lot of live stuff. If it doesn't have Jeffrey Ross.
He's the roast master.
It said hosted by Kevin Hart, and usually the roast master hosts.
But I think Jeffrey Ross is the
He
master.
is the master of roasting.
Yeah.
He is, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's the guy. If they don't have him, it ain't a roast.
Yeah. Because he's done so many roasts.
My favorite part, I just watched one with Anthony Jeselnik destroying everyone. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was awesome. roasts have to go to places you don't want to hear.
Right.
They have to be so bad in terms of what is said. And I don't know if we're ready to hear it. I don't think Bill Belichick's ready to hear it. He doesn't seem like a guy who sits on his hands.
I think this is going to be the worst roast ever.
Oh, I love that take.
That's just my opinion. And I've watched a few of the roasts, and they're pretty good. They're funny. But I think this is going to be an awkward, very, very awkward roast because you got so many jocks involved, and especially if Jeff Ross is not the roast master and it's hosted by Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's a funny guy, don't get me wrong, but it's just not a roast without Jeff. So I think this is going to fail miserably.
It'll be a lot of Deflategate. It'll be a lot of his marriage, I bet.
That's a pretty fresh wound.
Yeah.
That he apparently was quite heartbroken over.
Uh-huh.
The retired and then not retired and then retired and not retired again. I mean, you only got so many jokes about this guy that, it's just talking in circles, I think.
I think Tom Brady's a badass. Mm-hmm. So it isn't a question about whether he can handle it.
Yeah.
But also, roasts are not, they're not supposed to be timid.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everything's on the radar.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you put comedians in there who are trying to get a highlight tape.
Yes.
Whew.
And then what was the coin? Was it Bitcoin or the legal stuff that he was involved in? Wasn't he one of the?
I don't know what you're referring to. Cryptocurrency?
Yes, that.
Okay. I don't recall.
They'll probably hit on that.
In full honesty, I could care less about any celebrity that gets involved in cryptocurrency. I don't consider that a flaw at all. They're just taking money. Again, Jeffrey Ross has got to be in it. I don't want to see Drew Bledsoe deliver jokes. I don't want to see, and I don't think he's going to make a massive one. So you think he's going to stand up there and roast and make jokes? Because he has to go too.
Yeah, he does.
And someone will write it for him. More likely than not.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's going to go, and by the way, I'm playing this year. No. I don't see it.
I think that's why that's why nothing's been finalized with the Raiders purchase. Because he's going to go play for him.
So you think he did all the legwork, put the money in escrow, and then is changing his mind?
Yep.
And he's going to play for the Bears.
No, he's going to play for the Raiders.
The Bears would never be so lucky.
I think the only way he comes back is if he plays for the 49ers. I think that's the only way he would ever come back.
Really?
He grew up in that area. I think that's the only way.
Maybe. I don't see him getting rid of Brock that way, but I mean, you do have
I don't either.
One of the greatest or whatever, but he is also old AF. And you've got a young quarterback in Brock Purdy, though, where it's like, let's just keep going. This isn't a good direction.
Oh, I'm not implying it's going to happen.
Right. I was just saying, I don't think let's get the senior citizen out here to toss the balls around.
The scenario I was implying more is if he got hurt, they would bring him back to play. To me, that's the only way he would ever come back.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't even go back to the Patriots to do one final season.
The team that made him who he is.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to be a Raider, it just reeks of, when Jordan came back and you're like, oh, don't do that.
Right.
It's over, friend. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
More of the Big Mad Morning Show is next. 97.
Or excessive partying.
Cheese. Aged wine. Thinking of other things that are aged.
The age when blank stopped being fun. According to a question online, at what age did life stop being fun? Thousands of people have responded so far, and a lot of the answers are upbeat, with many saying they haven't reached that age yet. Some folks also say life didn't get fun until they got older, and some say it's never been fun.
Wow.
Oh, those poor people.
Lindsay, what's the age when life stopped being fun?
It hasn't stopped. I think it gets better.
Gimpy?
No, it does. It changes. It shifts, but it never stops being fun. It only stops being fun if you let it stop being fun. Like those people that say it's never been fun. I was born and I've been miserable ever since. It's those people, right? So I'm with Lindsay. I don't think it ever stops.
For me, it's getting more fun as I get older. But there's a scene in the new season of Reservation Dogs, and in it, the aunt is talking to one of the kids who had run away to California and came back. And in the scene, she talks to the kid about like, hey, you're expecting this other shoe to drop that you get older and things just suddenly change. She's like, that never happens. You're still the same person you were at 4. I'm still the same person I was at 12. The difference between those times is I just have a ton more baggage.
Right.
And that baggage weighs you down. And I was like, damn, that's truth.
Florida man arrested after whipping out his willy in an Uber. This happened on January 27th, Saturday night, around 8:45. Jason Haggerty, 46 years old, was in Tampa, and his Uber driver drove him to St. Petersburg. While en route, Jason displayed and exposed his willy and proceeded to masturbate the duration of the ride until arriving home. The driver told police he speaks no English and was unable to tell the defendant to stop, though he did use his phone to record the defendant masturbating. The driver said that Haggerty ejaculated inside the vehicle.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. Got an extra cleaning fee for that one, right?
Yeah.
I think there's just the standard, right? I don't know. Isn't there? You're the only person that's ever drove rideshare, so there's a standard cleaning fee, right?
I guess. I mean, yeah, if somebody barfs in your car, I think it's like an extra $300, but there's a little difference between vomit and semen.
He did say that he had to personally clean up the fluid from his vehicle. An arrest affidavit noted that there was a third unknown person in the vehicle's back seat who spoke up for the victim.
That's what she said.
At the conclusion of the ride. Police believe alcohol played a role in the incident. Haggerty is a licensed nurse practitioner. He was arrested for exposure of sexual organs, a misdemeanor, and booked into the county jail. During a court hearing, which happened this past Friday, the 2nd, a judge ordered Haggerty released from custody after posting his own bail. He puts the ew in Uber. He drove him to his $655,000 townhouse that evening.
I don't know why that's in there.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because people with money should know better than to masturbate vigorously in the back of an Uber.
In the front. He was in the front seat.
People.
Oh, God.
Next to the
I didn't hear that part of the story.
I thought it was in the back seat.
Next to the driver.
Why didn't the driver just stop the car?
Why didn't he punch him in the balls?
No kidding.
And when you are an Uber driver, maybe some of the Uber drivers can answer this unless Gimpy went through this. If you have to charge a cleaning fee, do you 100% get all that money, or does Uber take a percentage of that too?
I don't know. I never had that problem. Nobody ever barfed in my car or masturbated to the point of completion either. So
I think the Uber driver gets all that money. And the only reason why I know this is because I worked with a guy that part-time Uber drove.
Okay.
And he used to say that he hoped that people would puke in his car because he would get extra money for it.
Well, but that doesn't mean it happened to him, right? That doesn't mean he got all the money.
Right.
And he made it sound like he did.
Yeah, but why would you hope that? You can't get that smell out. Like
I know, it's so gross.
The amount of money you get is not even close to the cleaning up other people's vomit. Unless you go to school to be a nurse or somebody that, no way. That's not awesome.
Let's see here. Since the customer pays for the cleaning fee, the charges can appear as an adjustment to their final fare days. Uber will proactively transfer the money to the driver's account, but if the passenger makes a mess, they're paying to clean it up and will receive a new or updated charge after the ride. So it doesn't say, no, Uber drivers don't get all the cleaning fee.
That's so BS.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So Uber takes a percentage off that too.
Uh-huh. They got to get all their money.
That's terrible.
The fee's based on nationwide averages of professional cleaning services. The fee is only paid when the mess is significant enough to prevent the rider from accepting further trips. I think semen counts. Don't sit in that seat. It's a little sticky. Man accused of shooting 127 rounds at
I'm doing great. Doing great. Good morning, Corbin.
Good to talk to you, man. You guys had a early day game yesterday at One Oak Field. One of the allure of playing down at One Oak Field is just a day baseball game. But you guys are in a homestand, and tonight you've got Thursday, which has been traditionally a great night for getting discounts on beverages.
Absolutely. This year it's we ramped it up. It's triple play Thursday, so we got you got the beer discounts and the soda discounts for those that aren't drinking. But we also have King Cabbage Brass Band out there performing, and the first 1,000 fans are going to get a Drillers T-shirt tonight. So should be a lot of fun. 7:00 games, 6:00 gates for those T-shirts.
I always run into people, Mike, as I'm sure you do, because you've been around with the Drillers for such a good amount of time, is that people go, oh, I haven't been to a game since moving downtown. And the addition of having the brass band down there is just an ode to how much you guys evolved the game. So if people haven't been since the old fairground days, it is not the same Drillers experience.
No, definitely not. We do a whole bunch more as far as promotions and just fun and just vibe at the stadium, so we try to keep it fresh. And this year, those are some of the new things that we're trying. But, it's funny. You do hear people that say they haven't been down to a ball game yet. And usually say why. And they're like, oh, well, I'm not a baseball fan. Well, I mean, that's just not it. Baseball is what kind of puts us there and what brings us together. But you definitely don't need to be a baseball fan to come out and enjoy the experience and be proud to be a Tulsan.
Yeah, it is just part of the jewel of Tulsa is going to experience a game at One Oak Field. And when you reflect back onto the old days and the stress you felt like you were under at that time, how does that compare to what you guys do now downtown?
You're talking about like from the old stadium to the new stadium?
Oh, yeah.
It's always fun. I mean, I'm never super stressed about it. The weather stresses me out more than anything. The operation is great because we've got great people working there, and we got great owners, and we've got great landlords, and I love what I do, and I'm just as fired up about it as I always was. So I never really felt a lot of stress. I like what I do, and it doesn't matter if it takes 14 hours in a day sometimes to do it.
Yeah, the things you guys do down at One Oak Field is it's a great experience to be a part of Drillville down there. Well, Cardinals are in town. We mentioned what's happening tonight, and then fireworks on Friday and Saturday, and two big nerd nights, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's Nerd Weekend. We got the Marvel Defenders of the Diamond tomorrow night, so it'll be a Marvel themed night for us. And then Saturday is May the 4th, so we got to go Star Wars on May the 4th. So it'll be Star Wars themed fireworks on Saturday. So should be kind of a fun weekend.
Well, and really the thing that is the brand, I think you guys, besides baseball, you want to push is family, and that's what happens on Sunday at One Oak Field.
Exactly. Yeah. Family days every Sunday. Kids eat free. We got a kids giveaway for first 500 kids, 12 and under. Kids run the bases after the game. I think we got a kids clinic on the field prior to. So always a lot of activities, especially if you've got some young kids in the fam.
All right, let's talk a little baseball. Two things I wanted to bring up. One, the Twins have a 10 straight. They did not start well. People were like, this is not a good. And the Twins have won 10 straight, easily becoming one of the more exciting teams that is going on in Major League Baseball.
And for the last few years, they've been kind of on the rise. It was a little bit of a surprise they got off to such a poor start. I think they were 7-13, and now they're 17-13. And shockingly, that whole division, which everybody kind of picked to be kind of a weak division, they got 4 out of 5 teams with winning records. I think it's the only division in baseball. So they're all kind of beating up on each other, and it's unsuspecting teams like Detroit and Kansas City have kind of risen to the top of the division too. So yeah, the Twins, we got to watch out for them. They're AA guys come through our league from Wichita, so we have a great rivalry with the Wichita Wind Surge, and a lot of the guys making it happen at the big league level for the Twins came through Wichita, and we've seen them.
Yeah, some of those wins are against the White Sox, so I don't know how much bragging they should have, but it is the longest win streak for Minnesota since 2008.
Wow, I did not realize that. That's 10 gamers, man. They don't come by very often.
Yeah, and then we should also mention the game with the Mets and the Cubs and the wild finish where Pete Alonso got called out at home plate to end the game. Really exciting coming down to the final play game happening in baseball with Cubs and Mets.
Yeah, I mean, and there's controversy about that.
Yeah.
The play was, it has to do with the new rules that they have for the catchers blocking home plate. And I think it could definitely have been deemed a situation where the the Cubs catcher was obstructing home plate and preventing Alonso from getting in there. And to be honest with you, it looked like Alonso beat the throw. So it's controversial. If you're a Mets fan, you've got to be pissed off about it. So so that was an interesting one last night. And you can't forget about the beekeeper in Arizona. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did. What a 2-hour delay. That type of thing, a 2-hour delay has to give you a little bit of anxiety as someone who's responsible for a crew of people to make an experience happen at a diamond. Or do you go, okay, we got plenty of things to eat?
Right.
Well, there is a silver lining to a delay, especially when it's not pouring rain. So, yeah, I mean, everybody just kicked back, had another cold one and another hot dog. And, now they got this story to tell, which is pretty great. But, the drillers, we had the game the other night on Tuesday night and post game, we're like, hey, let's throw on the Dodgers game. And I go to flip over to it and the screen says, delay swarm of bees. It said on my screen. I'm like, what is going on? So that's how I learned about it. Kind of a crazy situation that beekeeper's like a cult hero now in Arizona.
When you guys have your team meeting, like your team meetings, not the player team meetings, but the team meetings of all the people you help manage and help make the experience at One Oak Field awesome with the Tulsa Drillers, do you go, all right, do we have a beekeeper number? Like, is that something you just go, we'll deal with it on the fly? Or do you use those experiences at other ballparks to go, hey, do we have somebody lined up for this situation?
Yeah, up to this point, I would say no. We've never thought that we need a beekeeper on the hot list, So no, we may need to consider adding that. It was funny because over at the old stadium, we had some weird things happen over there. It was the fairgrounds, right? So you had some weird animals that would show up. We had foxes at the field a few times. We had delays with possums and cats and things getting on the field over there, but never bees. So now bees are firmly on the radar.
And the other thing that's crazy about the bee delay by 2 hours is that is an indoor stadium, and they had only opened the top for like a short amount of time, and these bees showed up.
Yeah, man, you can't write this stuff. It's just kind of a crazy storyline, and I can't wait for the beekeeper bobblehead next year for the first 40,000 fans in Arizona.
Right,
I'm sure it's on the way.
They have to embrace that, right?
They have to. I mean, it's classic. If it was a minor league team, if it was us, we would be the Tulsa Beekeepers next year. There's just no question. We'd have a whole tricked out uniform, and it'd be great. We would have a lot of fun. Major leagues probably can't go that crazy, but the beekeeper must be exploited as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, it's hard to not let balls hit you in the face when you've got that beekeeper hat on.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, everyone should wear them.
Last thing I wanted to bring up is the Cubs have this pitcher that you might have to help me with the name, but he is shocking. Everybody knew he was going to be good, but he is crazy good. He's 5-0 in 6 starts and a .78 ERA. And again, I don't know if you know his name. I'm going to mutilate his name. Amanga?
Oh, no, Imanaga. Yeah, he's a Imanaga. He's a Japanese player.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's awesome. He's got a great personality. And it's funny because, that was the other big signing this year, from Japanese pitchers. The Dodgers got Yamamoto, and the Cubs signed this Imanaga guy. And he's just been nails right out of the box. Like every start, he's been outstanding, and he just seems to really just automatically, just eased into a major league career. So you love to see it. They're loving him up there in Chicago, and he seems like he's, not having any problem with Major League Baseball hitters.
I'll throw you this fact, too, because you love stuff like this. He's the first pitcher to start 5-0 with an ERA below 1 since 1901.
Holy smokes. I did not see that. That's incredible.
That's an incredible
that puts it in perspective.
Well, listen, these guys all work through the system. That means they play in places like One Oak Field. So go see the Tulsa Drillers in action. They're at home this weekend. We got tonight through Sunday. TulsaDrillers.com to get your tickets. Mike, have a fantastic week.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Corbin. You guys have a great weekend, too.
All right, we'll be back.
Buzz to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite, the original light.
Some of these other shows, that's why I like Pyramid, and it runs its exhaustion level. Mm-hmm. That's why they don't do just Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. You want to see people that are like, quote unquote, you win.
Right. It gives you hope and a chance that you could be on that show someday and you could win that money.
The number of people that are like to know someone to be on Wheel of Fortune is rare. Think about all the times they come through and recruit people, and then how many people from here actually get on the show? Not very many, if you think about it. So where do those people come from? Well, they recruit people. Some are up-and-coming actors. They tried, because they have to fill it. Lindsay's tried to be on game shows before. One of the hardest parts about being on a game show is that you have to fly out on your own, put yourself up, and you might get on the show.
Right. They don't pay for you to be out there until you finally make the final cut.
And when you're on the show, you might just get the minimum, which is like $1,000 now or something like that, which you're like, that's a lot. It is a lot. Not after hotel and airfare and expenses.
In California.
Right. In anywhere.
Yeah.
You go to any hotel, you're not gonna, even if you're gonna stay at the Comfort Inn.
Right.
And if you are, it's still $200. You're there a week. That's $1,000. It doesn't matter where it's at. You ain't staying at the Sunnyside Inn with the satellite dish painted yellow.
Right. With all the crackheads and whores.
Well, I mean, you can get that anywhere, any hotel, right?
Co-pilot was visibly upset before leaving plane in midair. So this comes out of North Carolina, where there's these two dudes, a pilot and his co-pilot, a 23-year-old dude by the name of Charles Crooks. So these guys were running a skydiving operation, and they're in the plane, and they'd already dropped off and picked up 2 sets of people, and they're on their way to pick up the third one. Well, the co-pilot is actually the one that's operating the plane he at this point in time. So the co-pilot comes in for a landing, and it was a hard landing. Kaboom! Ended up breaking the landing gear.
Yeah, I remember the story.
Okay. Happened in late July. So the pilot takes the controls, tries to get it back up in the air, back up to 400 feet. Meanwhile, while the pilot is trying to get things under control, he tells old Chuck here, hey, why don't you get on the horn with air traffic control? Let them know, hey, we need to divert an emergency landing. Well, instead of doing that, Chuck opens up the window and then barfs out the side. Typical, okay, the guy's shooken up a little bit.
Adrenaline dump. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the pilot's like, hey, bro, get it under control. Get these people, on the horn. We need to make a landing.
Get it together, man.
Yeah, instead, he decides to go ahead and lower the ramp from the back of the plane. And that's when old Chuck got up and then takes his headset off, starts walking to the back of the plane, apologizes, and jumps the hell out. Now, Chuck, the pilot did end up landing the plane in a field. Chuck was found in the back of somebody's backyard as a dismembered mess, and the incident is still under investigation.
Yeah. So, did he just go crazy in that moment?
I guess. They said that he felt really bad for the hard landing, which I understand.
And the guilt just overtook him to just jump out of the plane?
Yeah, overtook him. Said that he was visibly upset and just said, you know what, F this, I'm out of here. And then, there he goes.
Drugs.
Possibly.
Drugs feels like a better answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do you one better. Falling airplane part barely misses officer at Maine state capitol. So police officer's lucky to be alive after he was standing just a few feet when a 6 to 7 pound steel sleeve smashed into the ground outside the main entrance of the Capitol on Friday. An officer who works as a screener to the building was walking less than 10 feet from where the part fell. The FAA is investigating and says the part is likely from a large airliner on an international route. Or so they'd like you to think.
Is that common for parts of planes to just fall off like that? I've seen other stories where, like, the landing gear fell off and, ended up going through somebody's roof or something. But I feel like that's just every now and again.
This says things fall off aircraft every day. The Navy recorded an average of 460 incidents per year in the 80s. In the commercial world, Boeing received 200 reports of structural parts falling off its planes between 1989 and 1984, so a 5-year period.
Okay, so in the 80s, it seemed different because in the 80s, there were a lot of plane crashes. Pan Am being one of the airlines that seem like they had a bunch of crashes, which I didn't think was right, but I mean, whatever.
I think that the number of plane crashes every year isn't a lot.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but hold on, I'm getting to the 80s. We'll just go 86.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, God. We're at a baker's dozen.
Yeah, but do you know how many flights there are a day?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot.
Thousands.
It's okay. So 13 out of 1,000, but still, man.
In a year.
Okay.
So times that by 365. That's not very many, bro.
I guess. It just seemed like
it's literally the safest way to travel.
Says you, as
not me.
Parts are just
data.
Falling off.
Data. Facts.
How many times you be driving down the road and something just fall off of your car?
Yeah.
It's only happened to me once.
Yeah. And then it's usually later, like, where's my?
Right. I was driving. it was a 1980 280Z, okay? And rusted floorboards. It was a turd. I paid $700. We pulled it out of a field, right? Well, I'm in Owasso at 86th Street, right there by the highway. Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I was going eastbound towards the Reesers or whatever. And I was at the stoplight and I went to take off and the car lifts up, whoop, and then boom, slams on the ground. My entire, the strut tower, the whole shebang just came right off and left me on the ground. I was like, well, that's not supposed to happen. And I got it towed out of there and got it fixed. But I'm just saying, it doesn't happen to cars all the time. Seems like it happens to planes a lot. I call this day spa or dispensary. Okay? So basically, I've got some businesses. These are legit businesses in Tulsa.
Oh, fun.
It's either a day spa or a dispensary.
Okay.
Now, based off the name, you're going to chime in with and that's how you're going to buzz in. Corbin or Lindsay.
Okay.
Got
You
it.
get one shot and one shot only because this is a 50-50 chance. There's no point in, hey, would you like to guess, Lindsay? He said it's a dispensary. No, it's a day. So you only get one shot.
Okay.
Whoever wins at the end, I got a big prize for you. Okay?
Like a little nug, maybe? A prize?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Maybe.
God knows you have
Day
plenty.
Spa?
Right. So, day spa or dispensary, are you guys ready?
Ready.
All right, we're going to take it up from the top here. Euphora. Corbin, yes.
That's a spa.
Euphora is a dispensary. No points for anybody on that one. All right. Nirvana, day spa
Corbin.
or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin would be correct.
Come on, Lindsay.
You got to get in the game, woman. Get in the game. All right. Omni Oasis, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Day Spa.
Day spa is correct. So far, we're tied 1-1. La Fusion, day spa or dispensary? La Fusion.
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, that is incorrect. La Fusion is a day spa. Poppies, day
Corbin.
spa or dispensary? Corbin,
That
yes.
is a day spa.
Yes, you are correct. Poppies is a day spa. 2-1 so far. Corbin's lead. OHG, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Dispensary.
That is correct. Tied
What'd
up.
you say?
OHG. That's all it is. These are all the ones. I just found them on Google.
Sure.
I just simply Googled day spa and then Googled dispensaries and then found a bunch of them that
Sure.
are really close.
I just
That
couldn't
could be
hear. I didn't hear
confused.
you because you were going so fast. I didn't hear you. I didn't know it was
I
letters.
wonder what that stands for.
I have no idea. Nonetheless, moving forward, 918 Elevate, day spa or dispensary? 918 Elevate.
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
Dispensary.
That is correct. Corbin's in a lead, 3-2. One Love Wellness, day spa.
Corbin.
You got to pick it up, Lindsay. Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, One Love Wellness is indeed a
Wow.
dispensary. Yes. Corbin killing it right now. Lotus Blossom,
Corbin.
day spa or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
You are wrong, my friend.
You might need to.
Lotus
Okay.
Blossom is a day spa. Go ahead, Google
I
it.
know.
KMOD.
Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin, and happy 26th porn star birthday to Miss Penelope Woods. You can see this brunette vixen in a Deep Tushy Massage 7, Get Laid and Paid, and Slappy Tappy. She describes herself as submissive and breedable.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Hey, good morning. If you're a veteran and know a veteran, we want to hook you up. We want to honor you as we toast our troops this month of May, every Monday. For our listeners are awesome. We're going to honor a vet, and we want to hook you up with a case of Shiner Bock and dinner for two at Mondo's Italian Restaurant in the heart of Brookside. All you got to do is just share the story of your service. You can sign up yourself if you're a vet or the vet you know at the website that rocks, KMOD.com. Just click on the contest page. You see it right there.
Let's go ahead and do our top list. We do it Thursdays at this time. Let's get started.
It's time for Big Man Morning Show's top list. Random topics, randomly drawn with random results. Now here's Corbin, Gimpy, and Lindsay with this week's top list.
This week's top list is Mexican dishes. Mexican dishes. What do you got, Lindsay?
All right, number 5. Probably going to put your nose up to this, but I chose fajitas because it's hard to get them wrong. So, and they're easy. So, especially if you're at a new place, go with that.
Are we allowing Tex-Mex?
Why not?
I mean, if you go to any Mexican restaurant here in town,
they're going to have
fajitas on there. You know, anything else, what the hell?
When you go to Mexico,
yeah,
do they have fajitas?
I don't know. I've never been to Mexico.
I don't know. I've never ordered them, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Gotta have corn tortillas with them, and I like the mix with the shrimp, chicken, and steak.
Combo.
Definitely. Yes. Number 4, if there's room for dessert, I like the creamy goodness of flan.
Flan.
I do. And it's more of a recent thing for me because I'm a big fan of creme brulee, and I feel like that is the closest I'm going to get to it. 3 on my list.
What's the thing they put on? What's on top of a flan? I know it's upside down, so they. So what's the top part?
Like sometimes there's a caramel drizzle on it. Sometimes just fruit, strawberries usually, and whipped cream.
What's the shiny thing that's on? What's that shiny syrup?
Yeah.
What is that?
Caramel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's caramel. Okay.
Yeah. Deliciousness. Number 3 is carne asada, the grilled, marinated, sliced skirt steak. Yum. With rice and beans covered in the white queso. Yeah. Delicious. Number 2, braised pork carnitas. Love them. And I love them when they are marinated in Mexican Coca-Cola. Makes that meat so sweet. And with, again, it's got to be the corn tortillas. And I don't really care what vegetables, if they use them or not. Like some will put peppers in there, but they have to have red onion. Cilantro's a must. Lime is a must. And if you're using pineapple, that is a big plus.
Okay.
And number 1 on my list, street tacos from any damn taco truck. Any taco truck.
What kind of street taco? What are you thinking? What's your thing?
I like steak. I mean, the tongue.
Asada.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tongue is fine, but I prefer the steak with just the onion, cilantro, lime. Boom, done. Yeah, delicious.
All right, we're doing top list Mexican dishes. What do you got for number 5, Gimpy?
Oh, hell, coming in at number 5, tacos al pastor. You know, pretty good stuff. I mean, you really can't go wrong with tacos in any form or fashion. I'm more of a crispy taco kind of guy, you know. Not a lot of Mexican restaurants serve those unless it's on a kid's menu, you know. But tacos in any way is all right with me. So that's number 5. Number 4 is the mango ceviche. Ceviche.
Ceviche? Yeah, sure.
Whatever, whatever. It's good stuff. You know, you dip your chips down in there. You know, you got the shrimp and the manga and all the saucy, juicy goodness. Hell yeah.
I always thought it was with shrimp, always, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't till I've been to Mexico that I realized, no. There's many variations of ceviche.
Really?
Yes.
Because I always thought it was shrimp too.
Yeah.
So they got a beef ceviche or something like that?
No. Other sea type of things.
Gotcha. So it does have to be seafood.
Octopus.
Of sorts, whatever.
Octopus,
okay.
yes.
Scallops.
Okay.
Whitefish.
That could be interesting. I can get down on some
It doesn't
scallops
suck.
for sure. Yeah. So that's number 3 there. Number 4. Number 3 is going to be a good old enchilada. You can't go wrong, man. Has to be in the red sauce. I'm not a big fan of chicken enchiladas, so for me it has to be beef or something to that effect. I prefer to make them myself as opposed to, getting them at a restaurant, but that's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's just I like the way I make them because it's the way my mom made them, so I use flour tortillas as opposed to like corn tortillas, which I think makes a big difference.
I can't, if I'm going to do a chicken Mexican dish, I can't do shredded. It's got to be diced or cubed.
Yeah.
I just can't do shredded. The texture throws me off.
And that's anything with you, right? Like,
Any shredded chicken. Mm-hmm. But Mexican, like enchiladas or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to stay away from a lot of the pollo when it comes to, Mexican food and whatnot. But that brings me down to number 2, the fajitas, man. The fajitas. And it has to be all 3, the chicken, steak, and the shrimp, and I'll eat the steak and I'll eat the shrimp and then possibly take the chicken home with me later on and have that for lunch the next day or breakfast or whatever. And that's one of the best things about that. Let's say you go out on a Saturday night and you go hit up a Mexican restaurant and you've got your leftover fajitas and stuff. Man, you heat that stuff right back up, mix it in with your eggs. Boy, you can't go wrong right there, man. That's good stuff. And, maybe stop and get you some tortillas on the way home, so you can have yourself a nice, good breakfast burrito or something like that. And the number 1, I think, is obvious. If you've listened to the show for the past, 12 years that I've been here, this is the one thing that I always get. And that's what this list was kind of hard for me to put together because I don't stray away from my dish. Any Mexican restaurant that I go to, I usually get the same thing. Every now and again, I'll break it up. It's a rare occasion, and that's why I ended up coming up with the other 4. But number 1's chimichanga, man. Can't go wrong with a deep fried burrito. It's about the only way that I can eat a burrito. I can't eat a regular burrito like a wet burrito, or even if you're hitting up Taco Bell, man, I can't. The burrito supreme, the tortilla is just all mushy and gooey and chewy, and that's not for me, man. I need my burrito filled and then deep fried and then smothered with cheese. And then you got your pico, your lettuce, and guacamole, and your sour cream. You just pile all that stuff on top and eat it as it goes. But, boy, you can't go wrong. And it has to be a beef or steak if it is offered. Beef, ground beef or shredded steak. It will never be a chicken chimichanga. Just saying.
In 1998-99, the radio station I worked for did a partnership with a Mexican restaurant called, I remember to this day, La Cocina del Puerco.
Okay.
And when I went there, they brought out the radio people in to educate us or whatever, because they're like, we're authentic Mexican food. Mm-hmm. And I learned certain dishes, for it to be Mexican, really shouldn't have cheese.
Right.
Right? And I was like, and pork is the preferred. Right? Yeah. Had no idea, right? So it was then that I went on this journey of learning Mexican food. And so my list is a little different. I have tacos on this 3 times because they're different variations. Number 5, just straight up street tacos, preferably chorizo. I will do asada. I'll do tongue. I'll do barbacoa, whatever, right? But street tacos, simple. Tortilla, corn tortilla, onions, cilantro, protein.
Easy stuff.
Easy, delicious. Number 4, El Pastor. I've never had a bad El Pastor.
Right.
Pineapple, meat, seasoning, done.
Can't go wrong.
So good. We got El Pastor and another dish that'll be on here from Tortillas de Puebla, which they're fans of the show. For our birthdays. It was so good. Yeah. The extra we vacuum sealed. We just opened it the other day and had some. It was so good.
Nice.
So that was number 4. Number 3, mole. Any dish with mole on it. Mole's it takes like 23 ingredients to make the sauce. It takes like forever. It's got chocolate in it. Mm-hmm. It's so good on everything. Any mole. Number 2, as long as it comes out of a cooler, preferably a tamales.
Right. Those
Preferably pork.
Tamales.
Tamales, you can taste the preciosa in it. Mm-hmm. It's so delicious. Mm-hmm. I love it. And then number 1 for me, this does have some cheese in it, but it's so good, and that is birria tacos.
Okay.
Birria tacos, it's a special sauce that takes a long time, and then you take the tortilla, you dip it in there, you put it on the griddle, meat, cheese, you fold it over, it gets crispy, and then you dunk it in the sauce.
Yeah. I forgot about the birria tacos.
They're so good.
Yeah.
There is a place, I think on 21st, called Red Tacos, and they specialize in birria tacos.
Okay.
Makes me so happy. This text coming in, Mexican street corn. Yeah, a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
Mexican street corn's fine. To me, it's just corn,
right,
with mayonnaise and some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's good. I get why people love it. Where did it go? Moved on me. Street corn, tamales, street tacos, crunchy tacos, enchiladas. Mm-hmm. What's better, enchiladas in red sauce or green sauce?
Well, it depends on what your filling is.
Okay, say more.
Because I think green sauce is more for chicken enchiladas as opposed to beef, and the red sauce would be for your beef.
I agree.
And me personally, I prefer the beef enchiladas with the red sauce. Just me.
I'm a red sauce guy all day.
Yeah. I've had chicken enchiladas from different people. I don't like them.
Another text. Pork carnitas verde.
Okay.
Birria tacos. Straight burrito. Ground beef, beans, red sauce, cheese. Alberto here. I'm loving this top list.
Of course you are.
Heck yeah.
Chili rellenos. Tamales. I think this is supposed to be carnitas. I could be wrong, though. Pozole. Yeah, that is a preference thing, I think. Green spaghetti.
Ew.
I don't know what that is as a Mexican dish.
I've never heard of it before. It doesn't sound appetizing, though.
Okay. It's because of the poblano chilies that are in it.
Okay.
Blended with sour cream, cilantro, and garlic and spices.
It doesn't look good. It's just me, though.
I'd try it.
Margarita on there.
El Presidente margarita. Corona Rita, maybe.
Yeah, those aren't bad.
Pozole, another one. Fajitas rancheras. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mexican food, good.
Yeah, I can't wait till Sunday, man, when we're out at Los Cabos there in Jinx for the 18th annual block party. Come and join us 3 to 5. You can watch us mow down on some chimichangas or fajitas or what the hell ever.
Listen, I'll be so satisfied with chips, salsa.
Uh-huh.
We could stop there, but queso,
Right.
guacamole.
Has to have the chorizo in that queso, though.
Oh, it's a game changer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is a game changer when you put a protein in the queso.
I've always done it with beef before, not a problem. But you turned me on to the chorizo. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Nice.
You're playing at a different, Konami code when you do that. Is it fundido? The one where it's like a block cheese and it's super stringy and like it's good for like a minute and then the rest of the time you're just breaking your chips in it.
Right.
Frustrated.
Right.
Because just straight up, how do we get the Americans to like this? The white people. Just take a block of cheese, unwrap it out of the package and set it in the cast iron little skillet that we do fajitas in.
Done.
And let it just dissolve.
Done.
And then rush to the table.
Yeah.
Before it coagulates to solid again. Menudo, after a long time of drinking. Whew, okay.
I've never had it, so I couldn't tell you how it is.
I think it's one of those things that you're like, I'm doing it. Here I go. I'm having menudo. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't grow up that way, so I'm going to pass on menudo. I can't get past what's in it.
Right. Cow stomach, chili peppers,
Right, no.
broth, hominy.
Yeah.
Lime, onions, and oregano. Doesn't sound that bad. It's the stomach that kind of, turns things.
Dude, somebody texted in a torta. Tortas are so good. So good. The bread is super important on a torta. Because if it gets too soggy, I'm out.
Okay.
But a torta is delicious. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll see you Sunday at Cinco de Mayo, Los Cabos. We'll be back.
Tulsa's Morning Show.
And does it... So when I was in high school, we had a family friend that owned a chicken farm. And during chicken harvest season, we would go and he'd pay us, and you make good money, right?
Yeah.
And you load up just the females, you don't load up the males. But you have to kill the males. And you're supposed to pop their necks and throw them in one of the cages, and then they get collected later, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Makes no sense. I'm sorry. Cancel me. I don't know. I'm just saying that's the way it worked. Some of us, not me, would throw the chicken into the industrial fan. That chicken into the industrial fan, which are those big.
No, not me.
Have you seen my throws?
I would never do. Listen, Pepsi bowling champ of the 8th grade.
That's not throwing.
You got to throw a ball.
It's rolling.
Whatever. You rolled that rooster on into the fan.
And it kind of like would. The point being is it would stall the fan wouldn't just keep running.
Right.
Right. Like it kind of would.
Yeah, bog down a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that happening with an airplane?
You would think.
You would think. But if that's the case, if something that ends up getting sucked into the engine is automatically going to shut the engine off, that would not be a good idea for a plane. Because ducks, geese, birds, Superman, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the movie where they landed the plane in the Hudson, that's what that was about.
Yeah. So if it was going to, shut off anytime something flew into the engine, well, they wouldn't be on the ground or they wouldn't be in the air.
And what type of plane are we talking about?
A big one, a small one.
If it's a regional airport, it's hard. No, it ain't a big one. But anyway, crazy. Got to take a break. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. That was 30 years ago.
Did you get any of the guts on you?
What is it?
No,
are you looking at
out.
A statute of limitations here to see if it's okay?
Totally.
Let you throw
I didn't say okay.
cocks in the fan? Come on.
This says, I'm about to get divorced from my wife of 10 years because I made a stupid mistake and had a one-night stand. We got in an argument. I left, went to the bar, slept with some woman, and almost immediately the guilt took over me. She has told me it's over, but I have to try. What can I do to get her to give our marriage a second chance? 918-460-KMOD. Bmms. Then whatever you think he should do to 82945. Let's entertain the idea. What are some things he could do? How about a vacation?
Ooh.
You and me. Let's have a vacation. Let's go to some beautiful exotic place and talk out my inability to keep my penis in my pants.
Yeah.
Having kids usually fixes that situation.
Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get to do that.
Vacations are nice. Absolutely.
Can you work on a problem on a vacation, Lindsay?
I don't think so. Because
this isn't a problem. This is a crack in the foundation.
Absolutely. Because once you get back, everything's right there, Yeah.
What are some other things he could try?
I think he
entertain the idea. No
goes
bad
on
ideas.
Hands and knees and
begs.
What? Yeah. What do you want me to? I will do anything you want me to do.
Yeah. Horrible way to get into a conversation with somebody, right? And this is why. Because you want to fix it, you have to come up with ideas. Not me. You want to fix it. Why do I have to tell you how to fix your problem? Not just this, any scenario, if you have to go to the person and be like, tell me what I have to do to fix this, then you shouldn't be in it. It's a horrible way to get into a conversation with somebody to try and rectify a problem. Because it means you don't know. You haven't even entertained ideas.
Right.
How about a candlelight dinner?
That's
not enough.
Good and gravy and all, but the distractions there, man. You're not going to be able to enjoy your candlelight dinner, you're not going to be able to do much of anything fun, a vacation or anything like that because, there's a giant elephant in the room.
Again, we're just trying to convince for a second chance. What about a spa day?
Sure. I'll go ahead and let you spend your money on me so I can go and feel better.
Yeah, is he
about
going to
myself.
send her on a spa day? I think he needs to go to her and definitely, like, he needs to know from her what she expects from him.
I don't think
what he wants her to
Come
do.
on, Lindsay. Come on, Lindsay.
Taking
on,
her-
Lindsay.
What?
What he expects of her?
What
Don't
she
have sex
wants
with
him
other
to do.
people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what the expectation is.
Absolutely. But he's done it. He's done the damage.
Yeah, so we're
He's
talking about a
done the
second
damage.
chance.
Exactly.
So what do we're just talking about crazy ideas.
Yep.
Commit to an idea, Lindsay.
Yeah. So going on vacation, sure, it's nice, but now he gets to go on a vacation too. Like, it's almost like, I don't know if I want to go on a vacation with you right now.
Hall pass. You want a crazy idea, give her a hall pass. Give her an opportunity to even Stevens this thing.
Okay.
And she doesn't have to tell him about it. Ever.
Well, no, she knows about his, so I feel like it has to be
only
even.
fair, yeah.
If it's even, it's even. Why do you not get to tell anybody?
Maybe she doesn't even take him up on it. He'll never know. You know what I mean? Let him wonder. Did she or didn't she?
Yeah. Usually works.
Hey, usually does.
Yeah.
Withholding information.
Yeah. People have already texted him what my feelings are on this. To me, it's quite clear. But they are asking.
Yeah.
Right? They are going, what's some scenario? What's a scenario? What is a possibility? Brandon is on. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Good, how are y'all?
Good. What do you think?
From a person who's been cheated on multiple times, I say the damage has already been done. But if he wants to win her over, they've been married 10 years. Renew your vows. Make new vows. Tell her you're committed to her and only her. Just go and renew your vows. That might win her over. You never know.
Right, a mulligan.
Right.
Yeah, pull a mulligan.
Yeah.
Pull that mulligan card. Pull it all day long.
You said that you've been cheated on multiple times, Brandon. Would that have worked with you?
No, because I stayed with someone who cheated on me 9 times.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are you blind? Are you blind?
Well, I lived 7.5 hours away from my family at the time, so I was kind of forced just to stick around because I was in a state I didn't know. I wasn't from that state, so I stuck around and rode out the roller coaster.
What was her excuse on the 7th time?
His excuse was I was away from the house for 2 weeks on walk, and he got lonely.
So this is your boyfriend?
Yeah, it was my ex.
Yeah.
But when he said that, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I took the call around midnight when he was drunk.
Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. So there's this thing on the TikTok, which will go away eventually, apparently, is something called medical gaslighting.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of this?
Medical gaslighting? No.
I had not either, but when I describe it to you, I feel like you've seen many of these type of posts, not just on TikTok, but on many social media platforms. Apparently, it is when people say things like your provider is not listening to you, or they interrupt you, and you feel like your medical concerns are being dismissed,
Okay.
or ignored.
Okay.
Or you're often blamed for your medical symptoms. You're told that you are worrying too much, or you just have anxiety about your system, or your provider will not provide a referral or order key lab work for diagnosis.
I think it's those people with their non-medical license thinking that they know what's up with themselves. And so they're going to argue with the doctor who went to school for 8 years to teach, he's one of those things. Well, I know my body, doc. Oh, my body's telling me it's cancer. It's not. It's not.
I can see both sides of this. I can only imagine being a doctor who went to school for 8 years, been practicing for years and years and years, and you go in and tell them what you think is wrong with you and that they've got it wrong. I'm sure that's quite frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Additionally, I can only imagine how frustrating it is to be in discomfort, pain, whatever, and then go to your doctor and they try to, it sounds dismissive that you're feeling that way.
Right.
Right.
I can imagine that that's frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't call it a malpractice lawsuit for nothing, right?
Right. And they don't call it a medical practice for nothing because they just be practicing. You got to think of all the...
But you're doing none of those.
Right, exactly. You're just a hypochondriac who think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
When, you got to think about that, too, when it comes to that sort of thing. There's so many of either hypochondriacs or pill chasers that go out there and think that, they're making up stuff. And doctors see that all the time. It's kind of like when you get pulled over by the police or whatever, and you're pissed drunk, and the officer asks, how many did you have to drink? Oh, I only had 2 beers, or whatever. These guys hear that stuff all the time, so they see right through your bull.
I have a really good reputation with my doctor because I've known him for so long, and I go to him to help me with my being a hypochondriac.
Yeah.
Right.
I go, he knows that we've talked about me being one. I let him go, no, it's fine. If you have it in 6 weeks, then maybe.
Right.
But there's no reason to jump off the deep end today.
But people want that instant gratification. They want that instant help right now, something to make them feel better right now. Instead of, okay, Tommy, wait 10 minutes, and if you still got to go to the bathroom, then you can go. I say that as a reference to, like, kids in school, always up and down. I got to go to the bathroom, got to go to the bathroom. Do you really? Or are you just trying to get up and do something?
I think that you're right to the idea of that people expect to be healed right away.
Yeah.
That we've been sold this bill of goods that doctors can fix you, and that's the end of the sentence.
And they can.
Sometimes.
Yeah. It just takes time. It's not an instant thing.
It's, to me, the thing I hate the most is when you go and you say, my wrist hurts. And they go, okay, and you schedule an appointment and you go in. And then they're like, okay, let's do an x-ray. And then you got to wait to do the x-ray. And then you do the x-ray. And then they get the x-ray and they're like, oh, okay, well, now we need an MRI. And then you get an MRI and they're like, yeah, that doesn't look right. Let's send you to a specialist. And you're like, bitch, why didn't I go to a specialist
Right.
In the first place.
from the beginning?
Right.
And then you go to the specialist and the specialist is like, well, I didn't like that MRI. Let's do another MRI.
Well, now they're just trying to take all your money.
Well, the insurance is
It
money.
feels like.
And then you go and they're like, well, now we need an MRI with dye.
Right.
And I'm not somebody who's like, they're just trying to take your money. I'm not saying there aren't doctors like that.
Right.
I'm just saying, I don't know, because you can't go, what do you have no medical degree telling them how to do it? I don't just suddenly get that because I feel like it's not fair.
Right. I'm not one of those people that feels, oh, they're just trying to take your money. But I know people that are like that, who have literally said that to me before. They just trying to take all my money, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. I mean, one, it is a business, but they're not going to just sit there and deliberately waste your time and energy just to take your money. They'll just charge you out the ass for stuff.
This text is totally, I think, right on. Same thing about being an HVAC tech. The customer tries to tell me the problem, and they're wrong 90% of the time.
Yeah.
My AC's broken. I tried to do the same thing. But to me, I don't. I think it's more of me. I'm not just some jokester calling up going, fix my S.
Right.
I try to give you all the knowledge I have about it and then let you do your thing.
Right.
Here's what I did. I did these things thinking it was this.
Yeah.
Now you go.
Leave it up to the professionals.
Mechanics are the same way, right? You go into like, I think it's the flux capacitor. And they're like, no, not the flux capacitor.
You just got a low tire, bro.
There's these people I follow online, and they do car analysis. So they tell you what the problem was, and then they tell you what the real problem was.
Right.
So this person brought in a car, and the emergency brake would go on, and then the car would shut off.
Okay.
Bizarre, right?
Yeah, very.
And so they ran a code check. The code check came up with door ajar sensor.
Okay.
But the door wouldn't open.
Right.
And so what they deduced was that the door ajar sensor was faulty or having a short was then triggering the emergency brake as an emergent, like thinking there was an emergency in the car for safety. And then because it stayed on, it disengages the vehicle.
Right. Like a safety mechanism.
But the person driving, door never open.
Right.
Doesn't know there's a door code issue.
Interesting.
Right? But the person winning was like, XYZ.
Yeah.
Didn't know. Fun fact, doctors hate WebMD. I joke with my doctor all the time about everyone coming in thinking the worst because of that side. I also blame these commercials saying, ask your doctor about 100%. Yeah. The pharmaceutical industry being able to sell you ailments that you do not currently have, I think is part of the problem.
Yeah.
That's why we always joke like, you have a cold and testicular cancer. Because it feels like no matter what you put in WebMD, it always comes back as potentially testicular cancer.
It all comes back to cancer of some sort.
Every single time.
I got it. My toe hurts. Well, you got toe cancer.
Right.
No, you just banged it on the damn kitchen table. Whatever.
It's even worse when it's like somebody you really care about that you're responsible for taking care of.
Yeah, because you want the best for them.
Yeah. My kid was in the ER, right? And we didn't know what was wrong. And so we get everything, they get us stabilized, and we get the kid out of the ER, and then we have to go to the doctor, and they're like, it's probably this. And I'm like, this isn't like you got my steak cooked wrong.
Right. Lives are at stake.
I'm responsible for this individual. I need a little more info than like, just a weird thing that happened. Another text. When my son was younger, we went to a pulmonologist in Tulsa for his breathing issues. He told me and my wife, if you love your son, you have to buy a certain $600 inhaler per month. We ended up finding the generic brand for about $100 a month.
If you love your son?
If the doctor used that vernacular, you should contact the medical board.
Absolutely.
Right. And then get a new doctor.
And it's possible you may have interpreted, you heard $600, but they meant get the inhaler.
Right.
I'm not dumb to the idea that pharmaceutical companies have some loyalty with some doctors and vice versa.
Sure.
Absolutely. Doctors getting kickbacks, whatever reason.
I think that's been tamped down dramatically.
Yeah, maybe so.
It was a thing for sure. Yeah. And I'm sure it still happens to a degree. But there's limits now on like how many times pharmaceutical companies can bring food into the doctor's office.
Right.
They've tried to get that a little under control.
Good.
Testicular cancer. Yes. There's always a generic brand. And to me, your doctor isn't doing their job to go, hey, there's also a generic version. Also, your pharmacist.
Right.
Your pharmacist should be able to help you with a generic version.
Yeah, are the doctors and pharmacists getting money off of selling, this expensive brand? Maybe, probably.
Like a commission?
Not, right, exactly.
Oh, I don't think so.
Like I said, it goes back to those kickbacks or whatever. But, it's really just the companies out there trying to push their expensive product.
Oh, listen to this. Last year, a scan showed I had a cancerous tumor on a kidney. Immediately looked into it on my own and became confident I would die within 4 months if it wasn't removed. When I met with a nephrologist, he asked me what I thought would be happening. I said imminent surgery. He asked, who told me that? I said my own research. He seemed upset that he didn't get to tell me. Kidney removed a month later. Yeah, that is an impressive story. That doesn't mean everybody who does that, though, is right.
How did a scan show him that it was a cancerous tumor? Don't you have to biopsy a tumor to know that it's cancerous or not?
I mean, it's usually suspicious of cancer, but then you're right. I think it has to be sent up for a biopsy.
Yeah.
I don't know about cancer, but according to WebMD, I get gonorrhea a lot.
Oh, God.
The pharmaceutical companies are today's snake oil salesmen. Again, they have a lot of medicines that work really well and saved a lot of lives. So I don't know if they're snake oil. Some of their stuff, for sure. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
Tulsa's morning show. Oh, yeah.
Is read a hoarder a mile away.
Hoarder.
Yeah, you can read a hoarder a mile away.
You just tell by the way they dress. Their lack of showering.
Or by their vehicle.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, right? I think absolutely.
But you still don't say anything. You just kind of watch where you sit down, maybe scooch the newspapers or whatever, paper plates with leftover pizza rolls on them, and hang out for a little bit, and I gotta go. I got it.
If I'm going to judge, I'm judging, like, I'm going to judge the food. So I'm not going to judge, like, hey, your bed wasn't made.
No.
I'm going to judge, oh, my God, you served Brussels sprouts or whatever that is.
Right.
I'm not going to get all like, ugh, you didn't clean for my arrival.
Right. Good. You're right. Life happens,
Life
especially
happens.
if you've got small children.
Oh, and you're having a dinner party.
Right. You can expect toys to be all over the place. Now, there's a difference between, a little clutter, kids don't know how to pick up their toys, and your house looks like Ross, dressed for less. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I would think if you're hosting a dinner party, you would want to clean up.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think.
But that's not necessarily true, especially if you're like, hey, come over tonight, we're having pizza. Pizza feels like there's no cleaning happening.
Yeah, it's okay to have your laundry still piled up on the back of the couch from like 4 days.
You should at least pick it up and throw it on your bed.
Yeah.
Right? Give me a place to sit.
Right. Just move the panties over. It'll be fine.
It's always like, I've gone and I stopped getting in the car with this person when I went to get in their car and they're like, hold on. And they had to like unload a bunch of stuff from the seat and the floorboard into the back seat so I could sit down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you invited me to get in your car.
You should have had that fixed up beforehand.
Or just don't invite me into your car.
I'm with you.
Right? If you don't have a place for me to sit, what are you doing inviting me over?
I just like the company.
I'm not a charity. Yeah. So that would be, I'm judging food. What do you judge? What's your judge when you go to someone's house? If it's
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness?
Probably, yeah. Especially if you're having a dinner party.
Yeah, I might do that too. Gimpy?
Definitely cleanliness. And it doesn't have to be sparkling like you walk in and everything's ting, 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 No. But if you're inviting people over, dinner party, or just to hang out and have a smoke sesh, you might want to just kind of pick up the bulk of
Smoke
things
sesh.
first.
You're so bougie.
Yeah.
You're going over get high and you're like, man, the house was so dirty.
Yeah.
So dirty.
Well, yeah, if you got to, you can't put your soda down or your water down on the table because, it's littered with empty cans.
Right.
Then, yeah, that's
Right.
what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
Go get a damn trash bag.
But
clear off the table.
Yes.
And it'll be fine.
Yes.
I'm not saying you have to run the vacuum.
Right.
All right? Just don't make people come in and be like, oh, God. Oh. God. And furthermore, Susan, if it smells a little bit, just spray something. Just spray something in the air. You don't want to walk into somebody's house and get hit with a brick wall of stank. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to be careful too. Don't go crazy. Right? If you're unloading half a can of Lysol,
right. You're
obviously covering up a
something
smell.
Yeah.
Right?
Which will reveal itself in a
In
little
due
bit.
time.
Yes.
It's not permanent.
It smells like wildflowers and ass.
Yeah. Is it Febreze?
And mold.
Febreze is literally advertised to cover up stink.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which means you have a problem if there's stink in the
Yeah.
house. What about a toilet bowl that's got a pink ring in it?
I'm not judging that.
Gross.
It's pink mold.
Yeah.
It's mold
Gross.
Yeah.
in the toilet bowl.
Yeah. That's okay.
Ugh.
Now, I mean, there's a difference between is there sitting urine or like, Mr. Hanky, is he taking
Skid
a little
marks.
swim right there?
There's some rubbing his racing.
Right. Like,
Gross.
previous person was a freckler. I get what you're talking about. Yeah. Dude, that happens, bro. That happens in everybody's house. I'm hoping that you would, at least go in there and take that little brush and whirl around a little bit.
Yeah, but you didn't.
You didn't, exactly. But I mean, it is what it is. Everybody poops. Everybody has that, whatever you may need a knife for. It's okay.
Bidet, dude. Bidet. Bidet.
Right. I get it. That cleans the skid marks off of your end, but I mean, this is down on the porcelain. I don't think it works like that.
Eat some fiber. What's the strangest type of bird that... Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show. Time to find out what everybody learned. Start with Lindsay. Lindsay, what'd you learn today?
I learned breast cancer screening should begin at 40 instead of 50, probably because by the time most of us are 50, a breast exam accidentally becomes a knee exam. And on a personal note, I think I need a cortisone shot in my back because I'm aching, and I hope I don't get gaslit by my own doctor today.
Gimpy, what'd you learn today?
Well, I learned that the tongue is fine, but she prefers the steak. I also learned that if the Big Man Morning Show was a circus, I'd be the sideshow freak, Lindsay would be the sword swallower, and Corbin would be juggling balls.
I learned, of course, Gimpy is telling a story about getting breast exams earlier. By the way, Dr. Gimpy's office hours are from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. at the depot.
Call me.
At the pump.
And I also learned that everybody says that smoked salmon is delicious. They say it's the cure for everything. It's 'cause you're curing me. It's Corbin saying make sure that dishwasher's loaded right.
It's Lindsay. Stop tracking my cycle.
This is Gimpy, and I'm sorry.
Lindsay?
Oh, I'm 10.
Okay.